guys? Welcome back to another fantastic episode. Episode 3.
Episode 3 of...
Beer and Wings! Yeah, that's... Hey, now it's a full theme song. We just got to get drums. But I'm not gonna. Don't want an earthquake on the microphone. Happy third episode, guys.
Happy third episode.
So I'd hug your neck, but I'll hug your... I can't get to you, Joe, but...
Yeah,
air hugs to Joe. Third episode. We haven't been canceled yet, which is awesome.
Happy what else?
Happy Star Wars Day.
Hey-o, happy Star Wars Day.
Did that come from the heart? Could you feel that from my heart as I said
that?
Happy Star Wars Day. Yes. You guys, I know I love you because you appreciate Star Wars Day. So
absolutely.
I'm in the company of wolves. I feel safe here.
Well,
there's one lone wolf. We won't name names. There's a reason they're banished to the peanut gallery, but that's okay. So it's been a couple weeks, since we got together. I want to pause again immediately and just say thank you guys for the outpouring of support.
It's been crazy.
It's been nuts. We'll talk in a second. We actually have a sponsor now for the show, which is absolutely phenomenal.
I will reiterate, as I did before, and I will say it again, that I have done this kind of thing for years. I have seen stats for years. We're blowing those things out of the water. We're doing great, which is crazy, and that's all thanks to you guys.
Yes, 100%. And showing up in all platforms. That's kind of been my ask is to the people that know us, right? I'm like, hey, if you guys could, sharing is caring. Push it out there. Let people know about it. We're having fun. We're doing our thing. We're being ourselves. It's a creative form of expression that we're doing.
Yes.
And keeping alive the art of conversation because that's a dying art form.
For sure.
And I think we're going to have some discrepancies and disagreements on this episode.
Yes. Oh, yeah. Before we get into... Well, I can do that when we get more into the topic. I actually...
almost pulled out my lightsaber, James.
I want to say something before we get into that stuff. But
anyways. So there was a conversation that took place.
Yes.
I feel that's probably best left largely off.
Yeah. That's something I was going to talk about lightly, but we'll get to that when we get to that.
But how have you been? How's the past 2 weeks been for you?
I've been doing great. My streams have been doing really, really good. The one we did on TikTok here a few days ago, whenever that was together.
That was Thursday night, I believe? Yeah.
I popped like 15K likes. You popped, I think, 10K toward the end.
Yeah, it was like 10. Yeah, I broke 10K. I do remember that.
Which you usually school me on the likes, so that was interesting. But
who's become the master now?
Yeah, but then I switched to Twitch and stuff in that stream. And I've been streaming a lot on the Twitch and the YouTube and Facebook, and a lot of my community is kind of coming back, which is really nice. And maybe some of you guys are coming in there too and lurking around, which I appreciate. That's something that we've talked about before. That's kind of weird to me. How TikTok, they want you to call out everyone that joins. TikTok rewards that energy.
Right.
Twitch does not. Twitch, if you refer to someone lurking on Twitch, they will leave.
Yeah.
They'll leave and they'll unfollow or whatever. They do not want you to. If you know they're there, you can be like, hey guys, what's up in the chat or whatever. And if they don't respond, they don't respond. If you click your viewer list and you read those names, people will leave.
People love to lurk and they like to be lurkers.
Well, because Twitch is mainly PC people. So it's mainly people pulling up your stream while they're working or while they're doing this or that. They don't want to be called to attention.
No, my boss doesn't know.
No, he thinks this is just gameplay.
No. But a good week for you overall?
Yeah, I was doing pretty good. Awesome. I've been doing all right with a bunch of that stuff.
And I know there's been a couple of times, and I feel bad, because every time, he brings these puppy dog eyes and he messages, when are we going to get on?
Father, when is the next time? When will I see you on the battlefield?
Abandon me not. Yeah, dude, he literally hit me with the world needs us. Because I'll talk about the game that we tried. It's called Delta Force.
Delta Force. It is a reboot of the old Delta Force games.
Yeah, it is a lot like your Battlefield. So if you guys have been on the fence, scared to download it.
Is that the Black Hawk Down game?
Yes.
Okay,
yeah.
I've been
so they
redid
the campaign. Awesome. The campaign is on there. And I think maybe you can even play co-op as well.
Yep.
But now they have an extraction shooter mode like Tarkov, and then they have just big, game modes like Battlefield as well, which is what we play mostly.
Okay.
I did check out the extraction shooter mode, by the way. It's fun. It's fun. A lot more casual than Tarkov. A lot easier than Tarkov.
Okay.
So if Tarkov's a little too high, high strung for you, then that is what it is.
Hit it up with the slanche, my guy.
Yeah.
That was simul-popping.
Heck yeah, that was a good one.
That was a good one.
Pop tops in
Need
stereo.
to snip that sound
Yeah,
a little
just
bit
use
and
that over and
use it
over.
over and over. We don't even have to drink anymore.
That's just the intro music from now on.
Yeah,
It's
just
a
crack.
pop.
That was a good crack. That was a nice
That
pop
was
and
really
hiss.
nice.
But Delta Force is fun.
Probably sounds like nothing but white noise on the mic. All the people are like, "Yow!" screaming.
I'm so deafened. A lot of fun though. It is. I'd say a little bit more on the realistic side. Not Call of Duty. You can get shot, run around a corner, and tell your friends about
Yeah,
them.
you die quick.
You die super
TTK.
fast.
That's what the gamers call it. Time to kill. TTK.
Yeah, it's super
TTK
fast.
is super high.
And right now, SMGs are running strong. I really hope they nerf that a little bit because people can be long range with an SMG and drop you.
Well, it's because you can mod. The guns are so modular. We sound like we're sponsored by them. We're not.
We're not. No, it's just I'm enjoying it. It's a fun
But
game.
yeah,
and-
it's fun.
and We'll
but
dive back into it soon.
It's so modular though. The guns are. When I
Yeah.
was because I played a medic and I was using an SMG to start with.
Yeah.
I basically made the thing into an AR. There were still distances that the damage drop or the damage fall off was so bad that it wasn't usable.
Right.
But it was basically an AR, just a fast AR at one point.
Okay.
So essentially, it's actually fairly realistic because depending on
Yeah.
what guns you have and stuff like that, even in real life, depending on what you do to them, I mean,
Yeah,
Yeah,
it
for
shows
sure.
you. It shows you a breakdown.
Yeah.
It's pretty amazing. I like it. I don't want to get. I
So
could
yeah.
keep talking
Well, it
about
was
Delta
fun. It
Force,
was fun.
but just the gamer side. Zenith Dark Sky, by the way, if you're not following him, he's on TikTok, he's on Twitch, he's on YouTube, he's on everything. If you're not following him, Zenith Dark Sky, hit him up. And then me, Matrix Gaming. So some of you guys follow me there, and I appreciate all the love. If you don't, it's free to do. I hear they're going to extend that for the rest of the year. It is
That's what
100% free to
I heard
follow.
Trump put that in.
Yeah, he threw it in. He's like, I'm canceling Sesame Street, but I'm going to let you follow for free. Yeah, it's. I didn't go so gravelly that time. I brought it back a little bit. Yeah, I don't know. Cancel Sesame Street, by the way. What a son of a bitch. Did you hear
Did
that?
they cancel
yeah,
Sesame
the
Street?
president's beefing with Elmo.
Wait, the president?
The
canceled?
president.
They have beef
So,
on NPR.
and I
Okay,
I'm
wait,
not going to get political.
So
but
that's something I wanted to talk about earlier. Did you see? Don't get me wrong. I think he's done good and bad things. We're not going to get into that.
yeah, we'll
but,
keep politics out.
But did you see that the White House posted an AI? By the way, AI art, which is you don't want to do that. An AI artwork of Donald Trump holding a red lightsaber and Sith clothes and stuff, but then the whole post is talking about how the leftists and stuff are against the Jedi and they're not really the rebellion, they're the Empire. But they made him a Sith in the art. I was like, bro, if you're gonna do that, at least have someone in your PR team that knows what they're talking about.
Oh, they hired a Tricky. That's what they did.
I just saw this one. I was like, "Are you kidding me?"
Oh yeah, then he also posted that him as the Pope. Yeah.
So there's some-
and that was
there-
on his personal account. That wasn't on the White House.
No,
But
that was on the White House. The White
Oh, was
House
it?
shared it from his personal
Oh,
account. And I'm just
no.
like, oh no.
So I know this is a Star Wars episode, but I do want to say the one thing. So if you're a listener, if you're on the left, if you're on the right, if you're dead center, it does not matter to me. Just be respectful of each other is my
sure.
big thing. But the fact is that being not a wealthy kid or a kid in a wealthy family growing up, I had a wonderful mom, and
Yeah.
it's you go back and it didn't matter what you were as a kid. If you were a Democratic household, a Republican household, or whatever.
It's so divisive right now.
it is.
Everything is so
Yeah.
divided, and that is also a good segue into something else I was going to say, which was the content today, for some reason, it's just Star Wars. But for some reason, the world is so divided politically that, we were talking about things being woke or this or that.
Yeah.
I think, and I'm not trying to insult anyone that uses woke as a reason for anything, but I think what we're doing is by calling a lot of Disney stuff right now woke, I think we're giving them an easy out to keep making bad media. Because if our reason is politically charged for why a TV show is bad,
Fair
then
point.
they're going to be like, oh, that's just their political opinion. Let's keep doing what we're doing. If you tell them your show is bad because of the writing, because of this and that.
Did you even watch a Star Wars movie before you made this Star Wars movie?
That's all valid. That's all valid, but I think a lot of people are getting so caught up in this stuff right now, politically, that, like, they're watching The Acolyte or this or that, and they're like, oh, it's woke. It
No, the
probably
writing's just
isn't.
bad.
It
The
probably
writing.
isn't, because Star Wars has always been incredibly diverse.
It has been. It's a
And-
vast universe.
Yes,
I mean, it's
and they've always been super like against ableism and stuff. They have characters that have all kinds of oxygen tubes and this and that and stuff. But
Come on, back to
a
tank for crying out loud.
but a lot of people
It was
are
for healing.
calling things woke now, and I think they're just seeing corn in the crap where corn isn't in
I
the
love
crap.
that analogy, by the way.
I mean,
So
Because it's crap. Because it's still a crap show. But you're
Nobody
looking
digests
for,
corn.
You're
I
looking
don't-
for the corn in the crap.
I mean, the thing is, if you go look, like you were saying, if you go looking for something, you're
You're
gonna
gonna find it.
regardless of what you're looking
Yeah.
for or where you're looking for it.
And I
if
think-
you go looking for it, you will.
And
find
that's why I
it.
don't pay attention to reviews, because a lot of reviews for like Acolyte, for example, were being like, "Oh, it's woke this, woke that," and I watched a couple episodes of it, and I was like, I don't see any political agenda
No,
here.
so I think on that topic, I think you hit with you have some. Oh man, I really don't want to get too political, but
Yeah,
you
yeah,
have
you're
some
good.
people that are very, very far right
Mhm.
that supposedly there was some reference to possibly two Jedis of the same sexuality being
Oh, okay.
attracted to
Yeah,
one
yeah.
another, and it's like, oh, they're cramming it. It's like, but did they? So you're jumping on a bandwagon,
Yeah.
you're running with it, and that's
You're looking
not,
for it. You're looking for it. They gave you one bite, and
It's like
they gave
being
you one
in a-
bite to appeal to an audience that hasn't been represented in Star Wars yet, at least in the mainstream media.
Right,
Star Wars,
right.
the books and stuff like that, Legends content had characters that were diverse sexuality and this and that.
I
But-
mean, if you think about it, if they really want to start going looking for things, I mean, there was transsexual dinosaurs in Jurassic Park. They literally changed from
Oh, yeah.
female to male in order to
Yeah.
reproduce.
Yeah.
Well,
It
and,
was-
but that's I think that's a natural or unnatural but natural occurrence type thing
Yeah.
versus you have people that get so easily offended on both sides.
Yeah.
On both sides, you have people that get so easily offended that they grab something and oh, there it is again, and they run with it,
Yeah.
and it's like. I'm not watching it because, yes, shame on me. I hate doing sneak peeks. I hate doing little
Yeah.
spoiler alerts and looking.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
hate that. But I'd seen, and we'll get into it more. Kind of disappointed with some of the Star Wars stuff I've seen.
Yeah.
So I was very
Oh,
hesitant
no, a lot
to
of
pull
the Star
trigger.
Wars stuff nowadays is bad. You're valid to not like it, and
Yeah.
you're valid to
But when I
be
started
wary
reading,
of it.
it was pretty unbiased, but
Yeah.
seeing some stuff about, I'm like, what does that have to do with Star Wars?
Right.
Nothing. The reason I watched Star Wars, I never once watched Star Wars. Ooh, are Han and Leia going to get married? That
Yeah,
wasn't
yeah,
my
it's
care.
not- it's not the romantic
are
thing.
you going to save the galaxy,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
I mean, if that's what you like, watch the first season and the second season of Andor. It's not a Star Wars as in
Oh,
lightsabers
Andor
and
is
stuff.
just you were talking about Andor in the
And-
chat.
Andor.
Andor.
Andor is
Andor.
phenomenal.
Andor is just Rogue One. It's just a prequel.
See, I
love
it's
Rogue
just,
One.
It's just
And
a,
I'll
it's just a
talk about
prequel
that.
to
It's a-
Andor,
yeah,
the
it's a
character
prequel to
Cassian
Rogue
Andor.
One, and Forrest Whitaker as Saw Gerrera, and
Did they bring him back
they
for
brought
Andor?
him back. You get
I haven't
more of his
watched Andor yet.
backstory. You see him with his trauma from his PTSD. He's literally a World War II soldier in the middle of space.
Yeah, they hit on
is
that roughly in
phenomenal.
Rogue One.
Wow.
And you see Saw Gerrera, and you see him in the new Jedi Fallen Order games. Anyways,
And
we're
he
getting
can
ahead of
see
ourselves.
both of you at the same
Yeah.
time. It's
We're,
pretty amazing.
we're getting a bit of ahead of
Yeah,
ourselves.
yeah,
We're
yeah.
getting
Sorry.
ahead of ourselves,
Okay,
but-
so-
We love Star Wars
We
here.
love it.
Okay, I'll keep it short because we are passionate about Star Wars, and thank you guys for sticking around with us. But this show is about two things:
Beer.
and
Wings.
and that's what we're all about. So,
You heard us crack the beer earlier
yeah,
already.
we busted that. We're
What
about to
beers
bust
are we
into.
drinking?
We're drinking Wicked, and I'll tell you why I hit Wicked again because they're a little on the sweeter side. And
and we're gonna need it.
in honor
And we're about to die.
of the fallen stormtroopers on that fateful day, they were just. I couldn't interrupt that. That's my
On the day of
theme song.
0 BBY.
But I look at the fact that you had these people that they kiss their wives for the last day. Honey, I'm off to work. Yeah, I'm gonna apply for that job. I'm gonna find me something else. And they and they go to work. It was a George Jetson theme, and they
to the Death Star.
and they go to the Death Star and they clock in and get some coffee, Stan. How you doing, Joe? They do their thing, and then next thing they know,
Just
these
a
little
normal
rebel
office.
punk kids have to
Yeah.
fly in and blow up their job.
Freaking these kids nowadays, dude.
No respect for
respect.
authority. I tell you what. But but in honor of those fallen stormtroopers who fell before us, in memoriam for them, we have decided to bypass the two different flavor thing. We're going straight for the eruption, so that we.
Also a reference to
Never
how
forget.
Anakin ended up before he was Darth Vader.
Yeah,
But-
he's gonna.
too soon.
He got a leg up on me on that. Oh, that was another.
Oh,
that was a sneaky. Ow.
That's all right. I thought I was taking the high
Burn!
ground. I guess I didn't.
All right, so.
That's what he did.
we are diving into the eruption. This is the hottest. I'm scared to open this. The hottest flavor.
It's gonna singe our eyebrows
I know.
off as we open it up.
and they gave us a lot of sauce
Oh
on
man, and
these.
it looks red. It doesn't look good. It
So,
looks unappealing.
We,
This looks like vinegar and regret.
That looks like yeah.
they're going to be on the hot side. So James said he wanted to eat one first.
Uh-oh.
Oh no.
We'll let you have it, brother. I'll let you.
sorry
I'll
for the
let you-
ASMR, guys.
I'm gonna grab mine ahead of time, but
James, just while I may be your father, I am not responsible for your decisions. You were old enough to make your own choice on this.
Brother Bear, you're about to pay the price.
some taste buds for all of us.
There we go.
James, you are going first. Okay.
Oh yeah, he said he wanted to
Get
go
it?
first. There it is.
James, they're hot, buddy.
Take a bite, brother. Keep your lips away. There you go. He did it. He's a G. He knows what to do.
What you think?
I'm not on.
Liar. I know what's coming. I've had.
All right. Do you want to do one at a time or together?
Go ahead.
Let's just go for it.
Okay.
It's on my tongue already.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I gotta get a drink.
Oh,
Now it's in him.
delayed reaction.
Woo!
Ooh.
Yeah, it's a little spicy. Oh, I'm gonna get the hiccup.
I'm gonna...
Instant regret.
Oh.
Oh, Lord.
Ugh. Oh. The hiccups.
I'm sweating. Oh, God.
Why did I swallow that?
Woo-hoo.
Oh, my...
Ah.
Mistakes were made.
Dude. I'm crying.
Oh, why did I instantly start sweating?
Oh, my God.
Oh. Oh.
Why are my eyes watering?
Oh my god.
Oh,
Dude, what the
it
fuck?
burns.
Oh.
Oh, somebody call 911.
Oh god.
Oh. So James is going to eat the rest of those. Oh.
Ah. It doesn't even taste good.
No, it just, oh.
It doesn't taste good.
Why does it feel like I just licked Satan's taint?
Where'd you get the wings from, man?
Oh, Rock House.
Where at?
Oh, it burns.
Searcy, Arkansas.
Uh,
Yep.
Oh.
oh god.
God. Oh.
Oh,
Holy
man.
crap, dude. Bro, I think they knew we were coming. They did some. I don't even know. Oh god.
Oh.
I'm gonna sound like
There's
the
ice in my mouth.
the Jar Jars people,
Yeah.
the Gungans.
The Gungans.
Oh.
Ugh. Why, dude?
This is what Anakin's body felt like, huh?
Mm-hmm.
Oh god, I feel sorry for him. I understand
Okay.
why he's Darth Vader.
I can breathe
God.
again. Holy cow.
So
my
bad.
Gums are, my gums are burning. Why are my gums burning? Are you really over there drinking the ranch?
Dude, that was worse than those peppers.
I know.
That was worse than peppers, man.
Oh, my gosh.
Ah,
Oh.
my lips, dude.
Oh, 8 pound, 6 ounce, sweet baby Jesus.
Why didn't we save it till the end?
Mm-hmm.
Whew.
We could have died after the episode, not in the
Yeah.
middle of it.
Oh god,
Whew.
They're bad.
Those are
they
hot.
don't even taste good, dude.
They tasted
Oh,
okay.
They taste horrible. I'm sorry, Rockhouse. I love Rockhouse, but
I know, I got tears.
it's just it's not that they taste bad. They're so spicy. I can't. I hate that.
You can't even taste the chicken.
Ow. Oh, I feel my gums are back bleeding.
Oh. Joe's over here swishing, dude.
Whoa. Oh,
Dude,
my
We
Lord.
should have brought a trash can, man.
7, move over. Give me
That
some
might
of that
make me
water.
throw up. Oh my god, that's
Oh my
horrible,
God.
Whew.
Why?
dude. That's absolutely.
Oh, and every time I swallow anything, it burns worse.
Yeah, those are hot.
You gotta drink the ranch, dude.
Oh.
The ranch is key. Oh.
Whew. Yeah, I have tears.
Why'd you even get that big of an order?
That's not that big. They were half price.
Oh. Why didn't you get a secondary flavor? As a oh my god, dude.
Now we all know what the stormtroopers went through. Whew.
Oh my God!
Yours was quick.
Yeah, they died fast.
Oh,
This is torture, dude.
boy.
That's the worst. He said, "Let me get another one."
Ooh, Slanche.
Oh.
Dude, that's bad.
I gotta give credit. Now that I can talk again, I lost all coherency there for a second. I might have to trim some of that out where I died twice.
Yeah, no. Let's stay in.
Whew. But we're gonna give. I think they put some extra. I've had that
They
before.
had to know. They went back there and they said, "This is for beer and wings."
Got it.
Kill
Done.
him.
Yeah. I'd like to officially issue a warrant for the Rock House for attempted murder.
Dude, that's awful.
They're like birds.
I almost touched my
Oh,
You
eyes.
can't close your mouth.
I know.
Oh my!
I can't-
eyes
yeah,
burn.
every time I
Couldn't
close-
get anywhere near 'em.
Every time I close my mouth, it hurts.
Like the roof of my mouth.
I
feels
gotta
like
look
it's
at what's
raw.
next.
Oh.
Those gotta be.
Speaking of hot stuff, what about those hot deals at our local sponsor? We're sponsored, guys.
Yeah.
We have
Whew.
our first official
We're gonna
sponsor.
we're gonna tie into that and talk about our sponsor, U.S. Pawn and Loan in Austin, Arkansas. They're phenomenal. They have a wide array of all kinds of bongs and pipe. Wait a second. Nope, that's
Who wrote that? Who wrote that in?
Yo. Yeah.
Did
No.
you write the ad, bro?
Okay. So.
Oh, that's the 420 ad. We missed
Yeah,
that.
we missed that one. Yeah, no, U.S. Pawn and Loan, our sponsors out of Austin, Arkansas. Thank you guys. We love you guys. And while they don't carry that kind of paraphernalia, my mouth is still on fire.
Oh, hopefully they don't carry any wings like that either.
No, but they do have a wide assortment of stuff, man. Literally something for everybody there. I know when
Yeah.
we went there. What did you see that you liked?
I love the firearms, dude. There's a lot of guns.
Yeah.
We live in Arkansas, for those that don't know.
Yeah.
We're fans of our guns here.
Yeah, there's
And
that.
there's a lot of guns.
Yeah, the I love the ARs they have in stock.
Yes.
I was blown away with those. There's that couple of really nice high caliber handguns that I like
I was
too.
about to say I'm a handgun guy myself, but
Yep.
yeah.
The ARs are just clean though, and they're
They are.
priced pretty aggressively, I would say.
I mean, way
that's-
better than like some of the local gun stores.
And
that
then the
I've
gun
seen.
shows too. You're going to
Yeah.
pay out the nose.
Yeah.
But yeah, they had some absolutely phenomenal stuff. I like the wide assortment of they have guitars that are amazing. I saw a Flying V there the other day.
Yeah.
I was blown away. I was like, holy
I need
crap.
that. I need that for
And it's-
Static X, my Static X reenactment band.
Well, there you go.
Or-
It's called
tribute
Static
band.
E. I don't know.
It's called Static Z.
Static Z. There you
Yeah,
go.
and I to get the mohawk back, but I go really tall with it.
But they, I saw that, and it was actually priced below retail. And I know it's used, but whoever had it really took care of it, and I actually
Yeah,
put it around.
I think people give pawn stores sometimes a bad reputation. They think they're going to get crap there, but a lot of times it's people that need the money. They pawn something that they really love.
Yeah, and well, the fact I've been, obviously
Yeah.
I've been to multiple pawn shops, and it's one of those things that I will say that U.S. Pawn and Loan totally different atmosphere. Super clean, well maintained. Everybody there is friendly.
It doesn't feel like a pawn.
It doesn't
shop.
feel. It feels like you're in a retail store.
Yeah, it feels like yeah.
Everybody greets you. When we were there, they super friendly. They gave us a tour of the store when
Yeah.
we got to talking to them. Joe, what's your favorite thing that you saw over there?
Honestly, my favorite thing that I saw over there was that gunmetal gray Jeep Wrangler.
Oh yeah.
Oh
So,
yeah. We didn't
I-
hit on
we
the
didn't even
fact that
touch
they
it.
have cars.
Yeah, they
It's
have
US
an
Pawn
entire-
and auto.
Yeah, well, they have U.S. Pawn and Loan, but
Pawn alone. Yeah.
Yeah, but it might as well be U.S. Pawn and Auto because they actually have a fully functioning pre-owned vehicle that has nothing to do with pawn. It is an actual pre-owned vehicle dealership, and they also do like the zero-turn lawnmowers, but all those are brand new. And they have World Lawn and Bobcat. It's really blown away, and that Jeep was super sweet, dude.
Oh yeah.
100%. So we want to give a big shout out if you guys are in the area. If not, they are also square footage wise plus content of what they actually carry. They are the largest pawn store in all of Arkansas. Did you know that?
I did not know that.
Pretty
That is
amazing.
Insane.
Pretty
I can tell.
amazing.
I mean, when you walk in there, it's just it's huge.
It's not unassuming from the outside, but when you walk in, it just seems so much
Yeah,
bigger.
shout out to the Doctor Who fans listening. It's bigger on the inside. Man.
Yeah, it's nice tie-in. But anyway, thank you, U.S. Pawn and Loan. My mouth is now healed. You guys got to hear me get burned in the fire the whole time. But
Yeah. That was a fire ad for a fire sponsor.
yes, indeed, we love them much. They're super cool people. But Daryl and Rebecca, they're the owners. It's under new management. If you've been there before and had a bad experience, it's under new management.
Is
Super
there
cool people.
any chance that they might save some money or anything?
Actually, yes. So they've got a promo code, guys. Thank you for bringing that up, Zach.
Mm-hmm.
They're doing it between now and May 17th. They are closed on Sundays. But now to May 17th, if you go into the store, reference that you heard about them on the Beer and Wings podcast,
Yeah.
you will save 10% on one item in the store.
Yeah.
On the pawn side of the store. Not
Heck yeah.
vehicles. No, not vehicles. Not zero turn
10%
mowers.
is a lot.
and they can't do it on firearms either. So,
Well, yeah, they have rules to follow.
there's certain rules and legalities they have to follow, but everything else in the store, 10% on an
yeah,
item,
dude.
and they're already below retail on a lot of stuff.
Heck
So
yeah, and you got some video games there?
there is some video games. There's some older consoles that are there.
10% off on those bad boys.
Yeah, and then TVs. They actually have some really killer TVs.
Heck yeah, dude.
So yeah, and then the guitars. The guitar selection is.
Yeah.
I've been in pawn shops, and I'm
Yeah.
like, oh, cool. There's more rust than guitar on this thing,
Right,
But
yeah.
these are actually really nice guitars. Some of which are new in box.
So we are coming up on engagement season. Is there an assortment of jewelry?
You better believe it. And Miss Rebecca, she's super proud of her jewelry. In fact, when Zach and I were there, she made it a point to show us all of her jewelry. My wife
They don't
Angela.
have ladies.
Yeah. But Angela, my wife, and I, we went there and we met with Rebecca and we talked to her, and she was showing us all of this jewelry that she's got. And man, I'm telling you, some of that stuff, wow. That's all I can say. You go check it out for yourself. I'm not a big blingy bling guy as far as jewelry goes, but I know some people are. Blown away with the selection of jewelry they have in
Heck
there.
yeah. So where's that again?
That is, my mouth.
U.S.
Felt
Pawn
like
and Loan.
I
Where
ate-
they at?
It's in his mouth.
It's U.S.
Yeah.
Pawn and Loan. It's at 18134 Highway 5 in Austin, Arkansas. It's right there on the corner of 319 and Highway 5.
Fantastic. I really like the fact that I go through El Paso to go to Little Rock all
Okay.
the time. A lot of
Gotcha.
people do coming from north central Arkansas. They don't hit the interstate because they're not near it. They come from like the Conway area or up towards Rosebud and stuff where I'm from. When you're coming that way, you go through El Paso, and it's just straight through El Paso going toward Cabot.
Yeah, it is. So if you're in Cabot, if you're familiar with the area.
Highway 5.
Yeah, Highway 5. If you're in Cabot, if you're in Ward, whatever, and you're crossing through,
Yeah.
or Rosebud, or Valonia, if you're coming that way, it's like all roads cross right there, and it's right there on the corner.
Yeah.
Massive lot. You can't miss the dealership side. All the vehicles are arranged really nicely on
Oh,
the
it's a
side.
huge place. Can't miss it.
It's huge. It's a massive metal building.
Huge.
It's huge, but it's fantastic. You guys definitely make sure you check them out, okay? And don't forget about that promo code. It's not really a code. You just let them know, hey, I heard about you guys on Beer and Wings, and you will save 10% on an
easy,
item
dude.
that you buy in the
That's
store.
easy.
It's pretty simple. Cool stuff.
Heck
but
yeah. What day is it again?
ooh, it is Star Wars Day.
Star Wars Day.
Ooh, let's get back into it. So I think I can speak normally now. Joe, how you feeling over there?
I can speak
a
alright.
little warm, but I can actually speak.
Yeah, I'm feeling.
We're gonna do a round 2 of these
drank
wings.
this myself because I was like, I need something.
Panicky
permanent.
moment.
Yeah.
So shout out to Rockhouse, the eruption. Oh my
Yeah.
God,
The wings
lit
are
me
great.
on fire.
I said that this is bad. These are bad wings.
We're
They're
not responsible
great.
for what we said when we were on fire. Okay,
They
Lord.
they usually have great wings. I will say that those eruption ones are so spicy. They should definitely have like a spice challenge going on for their.
Yeah, if you
I warned you ahead of time. I
Dude,
told you your
that was
teeth
worse
curl
than
back.
the peppers you tried to scare me out of.
I thought it was, and I have to laugh. Celeste ran to the corner and was crying, eating this thing. It was,
I thought James was going to throw up.
yeah, I thought James was going to puke. He was like, "I feel it in my gums," and
He still hasn't
ran
come back.
off. And no, he's like, "No."
I didn't even taste chicken.
Yeah, I didn't taste
At first,
the
I was
chicken.
like,
I didn't
"The
taste
heat's there, but
anything.
I can taste it." And then
Yeah,
taste was
the
gone.
first couple bites, I was like, "Oh, these are good wings. This is good," and then it hit me, and I was like, "Oh no!"
James' reaction.
And we
like
went
this-
ranchless, though. To be fair, we did go ranchless on our
My first
bite.
bite was ranchless. I ate the rest of it with
I
ranch
had
because
no
I was like,
ranch.
"This is gonna. I know this is gonna. I'm gonna suffer."
Yep, 2 new chest hairs just because I went without ranch. So
I think my hairs just got more gray. I think that's all that
that's
happened.
what's wrong with me. But yeah, thank you, Rockhouse. We appreciate you. And a shout out again, once again, greeted by Miss Bridget, super friendly.
Awesome.
She's
She's gonna be a celebrity, dude.
yeah, she's a fan of the show. She
yeah.
give me comments, lets me know how the show, what she liked about it, what her boyfriend liked about it. So I definitely appreciate that feedback, Bridget. We appreciate you being so friendly and a part of the
Heck yeah.
Rockhouse atmosphere that we love so much.
Speaking
So-
of which, where can they give us feedback at? If they don't want to leave a comment publicly, where can they give us some
And,
feedback?
and actually, I won't go into details. We got an amazing review.
Yeah,
so
it's on our Facebook.
It
You
is
can-
on the Facebook. I was blown away. Phenomenal. I like to think that people are having fun, right? Watching. I know I'm having a blast, and I love doing this.
Mm-hmm.
And hopefully the Peanut Gallery's having fun. Joe's having fun.
Everybody.
Just having a good time. And if you're listening to it,
Oh,
hopefully you are too. So
that's his
the,
new. Did we discuss Joe's new name?
we will.
Okay.
We will.
We got
Hello,
a new name,
Joe.
and this is a much better name.
Much better name.
Much
better.
We figured out your name, man.
I'm terrified.
You should
We
be.
figured it out, man.
Yeah, we figured it out.
Just remember, you can't do
No, no.
Lunchbox, because that's Blake.
No, you're good. No, trust me. We've got you fixed, man. We've got you fixed. Star Wars Day.
Star Wars Day.
There's things that happen on Star Wars Day. There are things for Star Wars on this day
Yes.
that you wanted to let me know. And you saved it specifically
Oh,
for the
yeah, I was
podcast.
going to go back. But first off, let me just tell you, because we talked about the little how you beens.
Oh,
Can
yeah.
I share with
How
you?
have you been?
Let me. I kind of vented a little bit, but we were going to start the show. I was like, dude, I'll fill you in live on the show. I'm a little insulted today because the inner nerd in me.
It's because of me. No.
I just scoot back. No, the fact that I do love Star Wars, and I mean, I think if you were a kid growing up in the 70s, 80s, 90s, whatever, you have some respect for Star Wars. It's like Metallica. Metallica sucks. I don't like Metallica, but the fact is I respect them for being who they are.
I respect their impact.
Exactly.
I don't like them either. I'm glad you said that because it makes me so happy because everyone ever is always like, oh, Metallica this, Metallica that. And I was like, I felt so bold one day when I finally started telling people, I don't like Metallica.
Yep. And, I followed it up with it. I hit him with a zinger, like right where it hurts. I said, I don't like Metallica, and nothing else matters. And I walked away. So,
Anything before the Black Album? But
anything
Black Album,
after
it
and
dropped.
before and during the Black Album, to me, it was like,
It's very generic metal.
yeah, it is, but they're good at what they do.
They're good. They're talented.
They're super talented.
They're very talented dudes.
Just not for me.
Just not, yeah.
But this isn't the Metallica episode.
No.
Well, that'll be a separate one.
Yeah. Well, we're gonna get
So-
what's the whiny drummer's name? That's always
Lars
trying
Lars
to sue everybody.
Wanrich
He's gonna
or
sue us
whatever.
now.
Yeah. Hey, that's
Yeah, he's gonna come after him. You can't say that about Metallica.
How dare you?
Like, brother, there's shirts that say Metallica sucks. There's...
Yeah, and there's people that do too, like us. We don't. I won't say you suck because you guys can obviously play
They
guitar
have
better
fans,
than me.
and and I acknowledge their impact. But
yeah.
it's like
Yeah.
it's like another hot take from me. I like any Michael Jackson song that's covered. I don't like Michael Jackson. I don't like his music myself.
See, so different.
That's it. I'm out.
but
Later, Joe.
I like
different,
most. I like the themes around the music, and I
Yeah.
like a lot of the music. And I love covers, modern versions of the song.
That's fair, and I
just-
appreciate your
yeah.
opinion on it.
I just don't. For some reason, it's Metallica and Michael Jackson. I don't know,
Michael
man.
Jackson, I think.
Sorry, Joe.
If you
Sorry,
take him,
broke his heart.
if you take him in
It's fine.
stride for where he was when his songs came out,
I acknowledge the
revolutionary.
impact. A lot of people nowadays don't like the Beatles, but you have to acknowledge their impact.
Yeah,
you know?
and people who don't like the Beatles, we call them just wrong around here. You got to love. Okay, so you don't like the Beatles or Star Wars? Now
Or Lord of
I'm
the
not
Rings.
Oh God! Come eat another wing, Celeste.
sound that came out of yeah.
Sound
You've
instant
got to.
disappointment.
That was a
said, "Oh,
trifecta of hellified chicken torture.
You
She
got to
gets
suffer
to.
again now.
You got to eat no ranch for you, ma'am. You don't like Lord of the
Celeste
Rings
is my
either?
wife. For those that don't know,
Yes.
and I learned today or within the last few days, she does not like Star Wars, Lord of the Rings,
She's getting extra
or
sauce.
the Beatles.
I mean,
What do you do?
My,
You
my,
write
hot
It's her
take-
penance, man. She's like,
my
forgive
hot
me,
take-
It's her
Vader,
50
for
Hail
I have
Marys.
sinned.
my hot take. I don't like Springsteen.
Oh, I hate Springsteen.
I hate him
Yeah.
too.
I think it's very generic.
Yeah.
I always have since I was a kid. My parents were like, "Oh yeah, Springsteen," and I'm like,
I
Oh,
don't
no.
see the appeal.
"Where's my barrel?"
We started talking about the things we hate. Well, I wanted to just say that the fact that today, everywhere I went, I was like, hey, happy Star Wars Day. I had to run a few errands before the show.
Yeah,
Hey, happy Star Wars Day. They looked at
you
me.
got that
That brief pause. They looked at me like either I'm gonna keep it PG. They looked at me as like I was speaking some alien tongue to them. That what is this Star Wars you speak of? And I'm just like, how can you? Are you gonna watch Lord of the Rings? Yeah, you are. That's what you get. Remember that. Coming to my
We'll
house.
have to use the
I've got
sword.
Anduril hanging on the wall behind you here, and you're gonna. I don't like Lord of the Rings. You didn't say it, but your soul did. And, ugh.
One of her complaints about Star Wars, not even Lord of the Rings, was that it's too long. And I was like, wait till I
It's
make
not
you
long
watch the
enough.
extended edition of Lord of the Rings.
It's not even that's not long enough. Now the book's super long.
yeah, for
Oh,
sure.
yeah.
I love the books.
Yeah, well, the Two Towers was that's a different episode. We can
Seven Towers.
dive into
Yeah.
the Lord of the Rings. Yes. Bye, Celeste. She's going to go throw up now.
She probably is. She actually has ulcers.
Well, she should not eat any more of these.
You shouldn't even be around those things right now.
Yeah, those are demon wings. They're not from a chicken. They are straight from Beelzebub.
Elder Scrolls Remastered came out. Oblivion Remastered came out this past week. That was awesome. And that's where the wings came from. Straight from
Diablo!
Oblivion. Straight from Diablo!
It had to happen. It's so good. Okay. But yeah, it just kind of, it irked me. Because every other holiday.
That's rude, dude. That's rude.
Merry Christmas, Happy Birthday.
People are always right there ready to be like, oh yeah, Happy Birthday or Merry Christmas.
Hit you with anything. Oh, it's Easter, whatever. But I'm just like, hey, Happy Star Wars Day. It doesn't matter if you celebrate. And I don't care if you're a Trekkie. I hit you.
She is throwing up.
That was Kobe barking.
Or was it?
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't care if I hit you with
Different dogs barking.
the. I don't care if I hit you with something, or if you hit me. If you come to me and you're like, Happy
Hanukkah.
Happy Ramadan. Okay, well, I don't celebrate Ramadan, but hey,
But
high
happy,
five.
yeah,
I'm
happy
glad it's a
Ramadan
happy
to
one
you.
for you, and hopefully the Romulans aren't coming after us. But the
Romulans,
I don't know. I just
Ramadan.
went with it because I did. So sorry if you don't like that.
Yeah, you're good. You're good.
But it's just the fact that it's a greeting.
Yeah.
It's almost like if
It
you
is
went up to
weird.
somebody and said hello, and they're just like, looked at you like, who are you? And I don't know why I turned into Tim the Toolman Taylor. But,
It is.
Yeah.
That's pretty good.
Thanks. I've been working on it.
Have you? You're trying to get a job for the reboot
Yeah, I'm
coming up?
gonna be the guy that peeks over the fence. Wilson, wasn't that his name?
Yeah.
Yeah. But anyway, that was my little beef today.
Okay.
In fact, I won't call them out by name, but I reached out to an individual who's near and dear to my heart.
Yes.
While I'm running my errands, and I was just like, "Hey, what up, dude? Just wanted to wish you a happy Star Wars Day." Okay, that's what I got. Okay,
Okay.
and I was just like, "Yeah,
I'm not sure who that is
You
based
hurt
on
me,
the
lad.
voice there.
We'll
but
talk about it off the. Yeah, I was just like, you hurt me. I'm gonna cry. I was just like, well, I guess I'll let you go, and just hung up.
You
on
called
my
me and
errands.
said it, and I was like, hey, happy Star Wars Day.
Yeah, but yeah. Anyway, that's my irk. That's my complaint. Maybe I run with the wrong circles. I don't know.
Yeah, the circles of hell, man.
But-
They're around.
They are. So while we're on Star Wars Day, let's talk about something. I'm just going to ask you guys because I want to know. Zach, oh,
Celeste
the
is
poor
still-
baby, she's crying the tears of Anduril.
You should have watched Lord of the Rings.
You should have, or Star Wars and liked it. You had two different.
She made me turn off Phantom Menace last night for Dance Moms.
If I had a dual,
70% of the
lightsaber
audience
right
just
now.
left.
Yeah, it's just like crickets. Even the crickets put their lightsabers away. Like
All
what?
of Pretty Little Liars.
I did watch all the Pretty Little Liars with her, but Dance Moms is trash reality TV.
Mm.
And
Is
I
that the one where
turned
they
off
torture their kids and make them dance? And you're going to go out there and be a
and then they yell. The one teacher lady yells at them all the time. Yeah,
You're
and
gonna
it,
be perfect
and
for
obviously,
top score. You still weren't good enough. You
Yeah,
did not point
yeah.
your feet.
all in all, it's just a big promotion for for kids dancing and the child sex trafficking ring. Yeah,
Why am I searching for more wings? And there's none in there that have my name on them. But favorite Star Wars. We're going to keep this kind of broad.
Wait,
so
what about today?
oh yeah.
The thing
Oh
about
yeah,
today.
the cool thing.
Yeah,
So do you guys know where the saying "May the Fourth be with you" came from?
may the force be with you.
You are wrong.
Oh, where is it from?
Who do you think created it?
Like a person?
Or a group? Who do you think?
I would think Star Wars fans.
You would. That would be your general inclination.
I would think Mattel.
You're also wrong. You're even further away than he is. No, it was a pun. It was a pun. In 1979.
Before. Wait, no. it's
2
after
years.
Star Wars,
Yeah, 2 years after Star Wars. It was. I feel like I have blazing hot sauce all over my face.
I'm still burning. My
Um,
tummy does not agree already.
My lip just melted. Shout out to the Rock House once again for their eruption and all the stormtroopers that lost their life on this
There
day.
she goes again. Get more milk or something. You're gonna be out of milk before we leave.
Buy a cow, Celeste. Bring it over. But no, it was 1979,
Okay.
and it was actually a writer, Margaret Thatcher. You know who she is?
Wait, Margaret Thatcher?
No, let me finish my sentence, Joe. I love being interrupted.
I was like, wait, what?
But there was a writer in a newspaper because in 1979, do you know what happened with Margaret Thatcher?
No.
She was elected the first female Prime Minister of England.
I did not
Super,
know she
super
was
cool.
the prime minister.
Yeah, so Margaret Thatcher, it was a huge to-do because she was the first female.
Did she write?
Huh?
Did she write stuff?
No.
No,
I thought she like wrote something.
you're thinking of a different Margaret.
That's
I
a
don't
different
remember
Margaret.
Which one?
Yeah, but
Yes, I don't
you
know
know,
who
it's
Margaret
cool.
Thatcher is.
Margaret Thatcher, she was the Prime Minister of England for a long time. So
that's the Gen Z side of me coming out.
Yeah.
Because I'm right on the line. I was born right on the line.
she, but anyway, it was a huge to do because she was the first female elected Prime Minister of England. I almost said Russia. Sorry. I'm not going to talk about Russia. Not going to. Anyway, she that was a huge to do. So there was a writer in the newspaper,
An Imperial Star Cruiser
Yeah.
appears out of nowhere.
But she.
It's just a Russian. It's the Russian national anthem playing.
It's the Imperial March. Yeah, that's epic. But no, so a writer put in the newspaper, "May the 4th be with you," being a big. It was kind of punny, intended because Star Wars had come out like a year or so before, 2 years before, and it was kind of a pun, but also May the 4th because, you know, women's empowerment, women coming into power and
That's
doing
crazy.
things. So it was not until over 20 years later
Oh yeah, for sure.
when all of a sudden people caught on to that sweet little gem that little writer
May
had
the
no
4th be
idea
with
what
you.
he wrote. They snatched onto that, and it became actually Star Wars Day. And
Well,
they
what's
started hitting
crazy-
with the May the 4th be with
What's
you.
crazy is I was born in the grand old year of our Lord, 1996.
Vastly younger than me.
Vastly younger. Vastly.
Younger than me, too.
You said it that time. But anyways.
Yeah, I figured I'd stab myself before you could stab me.
Yeah. It doesn't feel any less painful, does
No,
it?
it doesn't.
But I was born in the year 1996, and until about 5 years ago, no, about 7 years ago, I honestly still hadn't heard "May the 4th be with you."
Really?
Like, it seems like it only got super, super big until the Star Wars stuff started coming back out.
It became bigger. I won't say it wasn't there because I mean it was something we used to say, "May the 4th be with you," you know, whatever. But it became bigger when it was all of a sudden, what was it, Revenge of the Fifth or whatever, and then
Revenge of the
See, I
Fifth.
thought it was
Oh, yeah.
Revenge of the Sixth.
Revenge of the Sixth, and what's the fifth?
Cinco de Mayo.
No, I know it's Cinco de Mayo, but I'm
Cinco de
saying there was something with the fifth. Was it Revenge of the Fifth?
That's what I've seen. Is
It was
Revenge of the Fifth,
and
but
then
I've also
something
seen
on the
Revenge of the
Sixth.
Sixth. I don't know.
But anyway, that's when it became more popular.
I know Mark
'cause it was
Hamill's
like-
Twitter every year in May is every day of May he's like saying something with Star Wars
It's
related.
really appropriate that you bring up Mark Hamill. Did you know that he was part of the Star Wars movies?
Oh no.
No. Well,
I
now
didn't
you've
know that.
learned something. So Mark Hamill, ladies and gentlemen, he didn't start in anything else worth a flip.
No.
But
No, he was in Jay and Silent Bob Strike Back.
He was
Thank
also
you
the
very
Joker
much.
on Batman the Animated
And he
Series.
was he's the best voice of the
I'll give
Joker.
a shout out to my buddy Michael Jelenic or Mike Jelenic, who was a part of the Batman animated series.
My
So
tummy hurts.
it's the eruptions.
What
So,
does Star Wars mean to you, man?
Star Wars?
I killed him. I
I had
Damn
to-
these tracks.
I had to reboot. I had to
He had to
reboot.
reboot.
So no, the Star Wars.
Yeah, his loading sign just appeared on him.
Wait,
Everyone on the podcast was
before
like,
we do that,
what
let's-
happened?
Let's see if we have, because we talked about this briefly.
Leaving that silence
We're,
in.
we're
for-
gonna, we're gonna leave that because I had to think because Star Wars means a lot to me. So before we do that, and before we get too far into the episode, we've gone on for a while because the pains of hell carried us for a little while.
Yeah,
I might have to
whoa.
speed that up fast mode so we all sound like chipmunks being tortured.
I sound like my Donnie Thornberry impression from the last episode.
like Chase Lute. If you know Chase Lute, if you don't, it means nothing. But if you know Chase Lute, literally talks like that guy. Love you, Chase. But let's do the. Who do you think? Well, let's start with the nicknames. Let's do the Star Wars nicknames for each other for this episode.
All right.
And if you call somebody by their name and not their nickname, you have to take a shot.
Okay.
Fair?
Fair
okay.
enough.
So let's start with
Half a shot?
Half a shot.
We don't have much.
Yeah, we'll do the half a shot, or slam a beer. But so instantly, I think of Zenith Dark Skywalker.
Dark Skywalker. I
I
appreciate
think is
it.
his nickname.
Well,
I think-
also, to be fair, Zenith Dark Sky, when I was a kid, I made the name when I was a kid. Fun fact about me and where my name comes from, that's been my username since I was a child. So some people are like, that's a childish name. I'm like, well, yeah, a 6-year-old made it, dude.
You judging?
Also,
Yeah.
no one else takes it from me on any platform ever, so
That's
it's my name.
like mine with the extra X's and the Z.
Yeah.
It was like, AOL
Yeah,
back in
yeah.
the day. You had to find a username, and I was like, Matrix. And it was before the Matrix. But, yeah, it was just Matrix, and I put it out there. So,
I was a Star Wars fan, so I was growing up, and I was like, what's a cool, like, medieval sounding name, but something that sounds like Star Wars, too? Zenith Dark Sky.
yeah.
like Skywalker. So yeah.
So
that
now
makes
you
sense.
for the rest of the
I'm
episode,
Zenith Dark Skywalker. I almost said Zarnith.
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 Boop Scoober Walker. That'd be I don't know what
Well,
that
you
was.
got to take a shot now.
You call me the wrong name. Zenith Dark Skywalker. I love it.
C-3PO.
C-3PO.
You know what? I'm cool with that.
Sold.
I
cool
didn't
with
think that was a bad one.
You
I thought
can
that
also
was good.
call him Goldenrod for the rest of the show. Either one is interchangeable. So,
I love God.
yeah, that's anyway. Yeah, C-3PO. We talked about this without you, Joe. Sorry, but you are definitely
C-3PO. We were on the phone the other day, and then we were talking about something. He said one thing, and I was like, C-3PO.
And-
Or no, he said Joe 3PO or something like that. And
I said Joe 2D2.
Joe 2D2, and
Joe
I was like,
2D2.
no, C-3PO.
He hit me, dude. I laughed the rest of the conversation. I couldn't.
So, my girlfriend actually has a nickname that is actually Star Wars themed for me.
Okay.
I am her Joda.
Joda. Oh, I didn't even think of Joda. Yoda. Dang
Because
it.
Yoda's really good at stuff. Or Yoda is. C-3PO is kind of annoying and just beat boops her. I'm joking.
Wise man I am.
You're
That's
fluent
okay.
in 6 million?
We've got ZD8 over there.
ZB8.
So what's mine? Hit me with it, guys.
ZD8. Oh, okay.
You can hit me with a loving and a hating. I don't care. What you got? What's my nickname for the show?
I don't know.
Baldy Fett.
Baldy Fett?
Ooh.
We got to use our name. And who's talking?
I have room to talk 'cause I have no
Because
hair
you're vastly older than me.
I'm bald by choice. I don't let nature take advantage of me. I take advantage of nature.
It's okay.
But-
My hairline's getting a little bit up there these days.
Yeah.
I'll definitely shave it before it goes.
I feel like I could put my hat back on now that I'm done sweating.
Yeah,
God
I
almighty.
I threw my hat earlier and then I had to pick it back up. But
Mine came off when I was drooling. Thank you, Rockhouse. Woo! Eruption. Killed it.
Matt Kenobi.
Obi-Matt Kenobi.
Okay.
That's not bad.
Oh no, me and you thought of one. Oh no, it was something Matthew though.
It was Matt Chewbacca.
Matthew Baca.
Matthew Baca. Like a play on Chewbacca.
Chewbacca.
Or
Matt
Boba
Chewbacca,
Matt. Either way.
Boba Matt.
We talked about Boba
Boba
Matt.
Matt.
Mandalorian.
Mandalorian.
James
Think
with
about
the
that.
win.
That was a good one.
Yeah,
That's
the Matt DeLorean.
I am the Matt DeLorean. I'll
you
take
go.
that. That's a good one. Thank you,
yeah.
buddy.
He's a mix of Matt and the DeLorean. from
James
Back to the
came out
Future.
of the peanut gallery with the saves.
It's like
Thank
a
you, buddy.
centaur, except the
Yeah.
front of the car is Matt.
Yeah, he was also from 1954.
Yeah. So exactly.
Way
So.
before my time. How you feeling, Joe?
No.
Okay.
Vastly older than me.
So, favorite. Originally, we had talked about doing like favorite episode of the movies. Should we stick to that?
yeah.
Okay, I was going to deviate and say, do we want to talk about animated books, whatever? Let's stick to the movies because not everybody reads the books that's listening.
Not everyone extends into legends. Not everyone extends into books. Not everyone extends into animated.
Very fair.
Some people just want to
like
watch the
the-
movies.
The three that matter than the other three.
There's the
you know?
Marvel movie, people out there that they just watch only the Marvel movies. They don't watch all the extra stuff. So you
So
got
we'll stick to the
Star Wars has a preamble, so it's really good to watch just the Star Wars movies because it tells you.
it tells you what's going to happen as it scrolls by like toilet paper, slowly leaving.
Episode
Yeah,
1, it starts
or-
with trade wars.
Or as my wife referred to them earlier, because she's clearly never read the preamble, credits.
No credits are at the end.
She told me, she's like, I don't want to read the credits at the beginning.
She said no. I pointed to the wings. Y'all couldn't see that. I pointed to the wings as punishment.
Use the
But-
bathroom and puke all at the same time.
She'll be like that scene from Bridesmaids. It burns everywhere.
It's coming out of me like magma. Yeah.
What's
That's
your
one of
favorite
Angela's
Star Wars
favorite
movie,
movies.
man?
Mine? You want to start with me?
Well, hold on. So when we say the favorite episodes, though, are we also including the spin-off movies, like Solo? Because there's Solo and there's Rogue One. There's Solo and Rogue One. Well, if I would do that, though,
Okay,
then
don't
we
say
have to
it.
include the Clone Wars because there's a Clone
Yeah,
Wars
let's
movie.
just go with
that
the-
would easily.
Let's
be
just
my
go with the
favorite.
9.
Clone Wars
We'll
movies
go with the
go.
Clone
9
Wars was
movies.
easily my best.
That span.
Just the 9.
The 9. We'll
Okay.
just go with
The
the 9.
Skywalker
Like the
saga.
flavors of wings at Rockhouse. We will
Okay,
go
yeah.
over the 9.
So we're going with the Skywalker saga. Yeah.
So let's start with Joe. Joe, what's your favorite?
Out of those,
Yep.
Attack of the Clones.
I knew I didn't like Joe.
No,
I knew there was something in my soul that was like, you don't like Joe?
You don't like Attack of the
No,
Clones?
I can't judge him. It's his opinion. What you got? Why?
Why? He said
So
aggressively.
so
Why?
Natalie Portman.
Sweet boy. Yes.
Yeah, but no. Actually, Samuel L. Jackson's character, Mace Windu.
So you will base your entire, of all 9 movies, you
Okay,
base it on
so-
Mace Windu.
No, I will base
Mace
it
Windu's
on.
cool.
So okay, when you
And not
look
dead
at it,
yet.
that has that movie right there impacts more of the saga in any way, shape, form, or fashion than any other movie.
Attack of the Clones?
It sets up
I
your
disagree.
clone army,
I disagree.
which then becomes your stormtroopers. It
They
sets
don't
up
become your
Palpatine
stormtroopers.
taking over power.
The
It sets up-
stormtroopers aren't clones.
Thank you!
No, they're not. But they were the preempt.
That's like saying the
to
battle droids
Oh,
did it.
they were the start of the stormtroopers.
I call timeout. This is going to be how this episode goes, because no, they weren't. In the fact that it was like saying the battle droids were. It's anybody who has a military force you could compare to the stormtroopers. The stormtroopers were a different. They were militarily trained as soldiers, of which Han Solo was one. But it's the fact that these are different. So any leader is going to come forward and say, "Hey, I've got a
When
military."
was Han Solo one, man? In Legends content or
in
canon?
the books, it's canon, good sir.
Oh yeah, is it
Yeah,
canon?
it is
hold
canon
on,
currently.
but here's my counterpoint to that. Who led the stormtroopers? Darth Vader, right?
Actually, no. If you want to get into the books,
Or not? No, you said the movies.
He loves to bring the
the
books
movies
into-
are based on the books, my guy. So
Okay,
do we
but
really
hold
want to
on,
go
hold
there,
on.
Joe? That's my
But
question.
If we're going there,
Let's go there.
the way that so you start off with Anakin being a general with the clones. That's where he
That
got
were
his
all
idea.
clones of
They were all clones of Jango Fett,
who was a
Mandalorian.
right. Okay, go on.
But to me, that just it sets up as like you have your basis for his army that he creates later. You have the clones. That's why when you look at clone trooper armor compared to stormtrooper armor, there's similarities.
So I will say, as devil's advocate here and as the middleman here, I will say, according to current canon, well, even some legends before the sequel saga was out. I will say that even with some of the legends content and stuff, the original stormtroopers were clones, but as time goes on, they die off,
Right.
and they
And they died early because
they
they
died
matured early.
Yes,
right, and then
and also they went crazy because they all had a chip in their head that was driving them
and
crazy.
You start finding orphans and young children and stuff like that you take from the Empire. You create them into stormtroopers.
Yeah.
You take volunteers.
So
to
you're
be
both
stormtroopers.
right, technically.
No,
according
there's
to new
one of us
canon.
right here.
Okay.
There can be
so-
only one.
Now we're going full Highlander.
I reached for Anduriel. I was going to end Joe here early in the show.
What's your favorite Star Wars movie, man?
My favorite Star Wars movie, while Attack of the Clones was a good movie, I will say that.
Yeah,
Empire
Natalie
Strikes
Portman
Back.
being the best part.
Empire Strikes Back.
Empire
And-
Strikes Back.
Yeah, I will tell
It's
you.
very, very common favorite.
It's not actually. A lot of people are like, "Why do you like that one?" And when I've had these conversations with people before, it's
I don't know,
because
man. I think
it ends on
90%
such
of
a
people I
down-
ask about Star Wars, their favorite movie, say Empire.
really,
Yes,
So
most-
we totally run in different
most-
circles,
yeah,
except for
because-
this circle. You know, we run
Well,
together,
I don't know
but-
if it's Jake's current favorite, but I know at one point it was his favorite.
Slanche up, yeah,
yeah.
I mean, Empire's
All right.
a close second. I do.
Empire's
enjoy
good.
Empire.
So the reason I like Empire is because, little known fact, the whole Darth Vader being Luke Skywalker's father came along later, and it was during that the writing for that
Kids,
movie
this
when they
is
decided.
before the prequels existed.
Yes. This was the
4, 5,
series.
and 6 came first.
Episode 5 is my favorite, and the reason it's my favorite is because there is so much story development.
There
that
is
takes
a lot
place
of
there.
development.
And while I agree with you, and I don't disagree with you, there was some cool elements in Attack of the Clones that did a lot of explaining, right? How do we get to present day?
yeah.
There was a lot of explaining in Attack of the Clones, and it's, of the prequels, probably one of my favorites.
I will say, yeah, to his point, Attack of the Clones does set up a lot of the background story for 4, 5, and 6, while Episode 3 sets up our main characters
Which
for
I think
4, 5, and 6.
4, 5, and 6.
And
5,
first just gives you that starting ground.
5, or Empire Strikes Back, did a lot of explaining of where 4 left off.
Yeah.
And it also set the
To be
tone
fair, 4
for
was
6.
also the first one, so it was, hey, let's make a movie that's going to do really well. Let's make something commercial that will sell, but also, that's in our own, sci-fi niche or whatever. So we need to sell it. It needs to be kind of action-packed, fast-paced. And then 5 comes along and re-ups on some of that story that you miss with 4. It's also why a lot of, why I believe, is it Empire that goes down on, on revenue. I believe 4 like had crazy revenue, box office revenue, original box office
I
revenue.
couldn't tell you
And
fast.
I think
So-
5 went down, and then 6 went back up.
So 4 had crazy box office revenue. It's the one that actually kept Smokey and the Bandit from breaking box office revenue. 5 went
Along
down.
with Selena. Kept her out.
Yeah, 5 went
God
down,
dang it.
and then Return of the Jedi went up. Now, quick pop quiz. This wasn't on the trivia. Do either of you know what the original line was that was told to Mark Hamill during filming instead of "I am your father"?
It wasn't "I am your father." It was, yes, I do know it, but I am eruption on the face right now, plus a few of these slanchets in. It was, they did, because they wanted the look of shock on his
Right.
face when it was delivered to him, because he didn't know. If he
Yeah.
didn't know that, he did not know.
Nobody
Well,
knew
that used to
until
be
it
a
premiered.
great movie
Yeah.
tool that we used that we can't use anymore because now we have a whole bunch of legal stuff. We can't scare kids in the forest and make Blair Witch anymore.
Great
Yeah.
movie.
But yeah, nobody knew what the actual line was until the premiere of the movie. The only person that knew was James Earl Jones and George Lucas.
Oh no, I don't know it.
I cannot
I'll
remember
just be
it.
real with you. I don't
It
know.
was "I killed your father."
I killed your father. That is correct. He is correct on
I
that.
killed
do
your father would
remember
work though, because a lot of times Anakin or Darth Vader refers to refers to the
himself in
fact
the third
that
person.
Obi-Wan even says Darth Vader killed your father.
Yes.
Technically, he did. Like the dark side of Anakin is considered
Correct.
Darth Vader
Right.
mentally.
And-
And it's
Yeah.
it's obviously he doesn't have two personalities. It's just the dark side winning out over the light side there.
And-
But
And
well,
Anakin-
ultimately, it's the prophecy balancing things. But either way,
And-
Wait, I want to hit on that. Don't let me forget about the prophecy.
Yeah.
Okay.
I definitely want to touch on that.
Anakin himself in the Obi-Wan series even says
Yeah,
that Anakin no longer lives, and when Obi-Wan says, "I'm sorry for what I did to you," I'm sorry that I killed you, he says, "No, I killed Anakin."
yeah. Yeah,
So-
the Obi-Wan
the
series is
cartoons?
really good. No,
No,
it's live
it's a
action,
live
and they
action
got
series
they
that
got
is
Ewan
absolutely
McGregor
great.
to come back and play Obi-Wan.
Oh, yeah, I heard
and
it
they
was
got Hayden
floppy.
Christensen
To play
Darth Vader.
Anakin and Darth Vader, and they got
No.
Liam Neeson to come back as Qui-Gon.
Kenobi is really good. I will say it's slow paced. You don't really get a lot of the really cool story moments till the end.
Okay.
But Kenobi, I would recommend. Kenobi is
I'll check
really
it out.
solid.
I have not
It's
watched
not
it because I
animated.
heard a whole lot of and I love Ewan
McGregor.
You said made me
Yeah.
say Ewan, but Ewan McGregor.
Yeah.
I love him as an actor. I think
Yeah,
he's
he's
phenomenal, and I think he was
He's great. Obi-Wan.
perfect typecast
Yeah.
for Obi-Wan.
Yeah,
yes,
he was great.
Fantastic.
not
No,
he's no Alec Guinness, but I mean he's still
Yeah.
he's
Wow.
I mean,
that's
but-
old man. Obi.
Yeah,
I
he's
mean, but
dead.
he actually liked Star Wars, where Alec Guinness hated Star
Oh
Wars.
yeah, Alec Guinness did not like Star Wars. He's like,
No.
this is a paycheck, baby boy.
So,
Yeah.
your favorite. Yeah, we went
Episode
on,
3. Every day
Really?
of the week, episode 3.
Which happy anniversary to Episode 3?
Yes, it just passed its 25th year anniversary. Went back to theaters. I
Why-
think some places are still showing it.
Why is it your favorite?
It's just the most emotional,
For
the
you?
most
Okay.
the most emotionally impactful one, because I identify with well, you know me. I've always been a lover boy. It's a thing with
Oh,
me.
you're talking about the Padme Anakin bit?
Yes.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah,
I can feel
and-
that.
And well, not just that, but the brotherly love that gets
Obi-Wan and
that gets
Anakin.
You are
shredded.
my
there.
brother.
Yeah, you
That
know.
was a soundbite. That
Yeah.
wasn't me. I swear.
So,
But,
and especially after watching, because I watched a lot of the animated, the Clone Wars.
Yeah.
After you watch a lot of Clone Wars and then go back and watch Episode 3, it's like, oh my god, these guys went through so much together. Like,
Yeah.
even more than them, because the movies give you that idea that like, oh, they went through these battles that we don't see. Well, you see those battles in Clone Wars.
That is the
Yep.
tip of the iceberg.
Yeah, and then once you see all that stuff, then you go into Episode 3 and you're like, he's like, you are my brother, Anakin, and you're like.
You were
Because
his
then
brother.
in Clone
Yeah.
Wars, since a lot of the books aren't canon anymore, sorry, but since they aren't, and Clone Wars does a lot of that rebuilding of a lot of lore that they borrows from Legends, honestly, but a lot of building where it definitely hints and throws in your face that Obi-Wan knows very much about Anakin and Padme,
Oh, yeah.
and he's and then also then that weighs on Obi-Wan, which gives it even more depth because Obi-Wan's like, I should have killed this like love story way early on.
But he was
Um,
he loved Anakin.
Yeah,
so-
and well, also Obi-Wan loved what's her face? What's her name? I can't remember. The Mandalorian lady.
Yeah, no,
Because he's the one that
it's
heals a lot of
Bo-Katan's
the
sister.
yeah, he's the one that heals a lot of the Mandalorian stuff. So in Clone Wars, in the current age, Obi-Wan is the one that heals a lot of the relationship between the Jedi and the Mandalorian and stuff, and tries to bring them kind of back to the Republic and everything because all the stuff that
Well,
happened
that's
with the
I will
Mandalorian.
say just, and I'll take a quick pause on books. On books, I don't know what they did in the. I didn't watch the animated.
Yeah.
Shame on me. My son loved them.
They're great.
I didn't watch them.
Season 1 and 2 are very kid oriented. I will say that. After that, they clearly realized they were like, wait a second, our audience is old.
Yeah.
Like kids aren't watching this for some reason. It's old people, and so then especially when you get to season like 7 or 6 or whatever is the end that last season. Whoo, my God, bro!
Not just that. Number one, the end of Clone Wars, I cried like a baby.
Oh, you will.
I cried like a baby when
You will.
when Order 66 hit. But
Yeah,
to
because it
answer
does
that,
at the end of
was
Clone Wars.
Satine Kryze of Mandalore was Obi-Wan's love interest, and when you're looking for the Clone Wars, season 1 and 2, you want the computer animated one. If you're looking for kids, if you find the one that looks like it's Samurai
Jack.
That's
the old.
very adult oriented. Do not.
Yeah,
let your
that's
kids
the old
watch it.
Clone Wars version, but which they only lasted like a season or 2 or
But
whatever.
General Grievous is a beast.
Yeah, he's
General
a monster.
Grievous is a beast.
With Clone Wars hits, you would love Clone Wars because it hits a lot on these things. Plo Koon, it does a lot of
I
exploration.
love Plo Koon. You know
It
that
does
Plo
a-
Koon, factual in the books.
Yeah.
I have a deep love and respect for Plo Koon. A
Yeah.
lot of people don't know who he is.
Yeah.
He's the guy that when Order 66 happens, he gets shot from behind and blows up in his
Yeah.
starfighter. But Plo Koon, he wielded an orange lightsaber. Absolutely amazing character. He's an alien race. He doesn't say a whole lot. But do you know that he was the best swordsman when it came to lightsaber?
I do because of Clone Wars.
You knew that.
Clone
Okay,
Wars,
did you know that
I
too?
like
Okay.
I said, Clone Wars. You would love Clone Wars. It takes a lot of Legends content, and just like I will, obviously we don't have to talk a lot about them at the moment, but the sequel series, the one thing I like that they did is they canonized a lot of Legends stuff with it.
Yes.
Especially in episode 9, because they started talking about stuff that referenced Knights of the Old Republic, which a lot of people regard as one of the greatest pieces of Star Wars media ever, if not the
Sorry.
greatest.
Flames.
And it references a bunch of this stuff. So, but Clone Wars did that too. They took a lot of Legends content because I think there's a lot of people that work because Clone Wars is still canon, but it wasn't Disney. Disney did like the last season or 2, which turned it adult, very adult. But the original Clone Wars series, as it was coming out, when it started coming out, was before Disney bought them, and it was just LucasArts doing it, and in partnership with somebody for the first 3 or 4 seasons at least. So I think it was just a lot of people that worked at LucasArts that were like, we love the Legends content, and they embraced it. And since Disney bought it and was like, Clone Wars is canon, because it has to be, because they wanted to really milk Ahsoka and everything. That might not be the best word.
You little Twi'lek.
I love Twi'leks. But anyways.
No, interesting that you guys went with the prequels as your favorites, and me being vastly younger than the two of you, I went with the. But no, I remember seeing. It was Empire Strikes Back, and then Return of the Jedi, I believe, as a kid, and I am dating myself. I got to see those two in theaters.
Yeah.
And
Vastly younger.
I also saw Conan the Barbarian in theaters.
Like that one, like
Yeah.
Arnold. Conan?
Yeah, I got to see. Crumb.
Yeah.
He didn't say a whole lot, but I got to see Conan the Barbarian in theaters too. So
It's because he's Austrian.
Tying that into Star Wars, wasn't Carl Weathers also in Conan the Barbarian?
no,
I thought he was.
not that I recall.
C-3PO, or what was the other?
3P?
Yoda, come on.
J2D2, get
Yeah.
it together.
R2D2?
But okay, so least favorite episode. Since we don't have to go as long on this, but let's hit with the least favorite episode.
Oh boy. Let's start with Joe, because mine's going to be a hot take.
Yeah. What's your least favorite, Joe? If you're over there,
He's
with
going to
little-
say The Last Jedi.
None of them. I love them all. They're so great. I got a Star Wars hug. Yeah.
Actually, no. When it comes down to it, my least favorite is episode 1.
Ooh.
Ooh, okay.
That is interesting.
I have inattentive ADHD, and that movie.
It dr-
Episode 1 is
But-
slow.
But
Episode
they
1
kept
is slow.
it. They kept it true to form because A New Hope, episode
It's
4,
slow.
drug on too.
No, it's
so.
it's a phenomenal movie. It is a great movie.
Yep.
It drags on forever. It's the same reason why Fellowship of the Ring is my least favorite of the Lord of the Rings.
There
movies.
are no bad of the trilogy.
Yes, there are.
Get the sword!
we're sparring after this. We are going to have a
that's
spar
the challenge,
session.
the trivia
That's
challenge.
the
There's no
trivia
trivia challenge. We just beat each other
We
up.
just beat each other
Okay,
up.
so that's my mistake. I was thinking of Carl Weathers in another Arnold Schwarzenegger movie, and it is Predator.
Yes, he
Oh,
was
yeah.
in that.
Yeah, I was getting those mixed up.
So
That's my fault.
what's your least favorite? Uh-oh. Here
I will tell you this: my least favorite is not one.
Okay.
My least, well, I guess it technically.
I grew
could
up
be.
with. To be fair, let's also let people know. I'm 28. I grew up with episode 1, 2, and 3 first. I watched them first.
Well, I'll make you feel
I didn't
good.
watch 4, 5, and 6 first. So I have
You have a different structure.
a predisposition towards the first 3.
Okay, so yeah.
But I also, as I've gotten older, respect 4, 5, and 6 immensely, and I love them too.
So I grew up. I'm kind of smack in between the middle of you two age wise. I think I'm 10 years younger than you. And 10
No,
years
you are
older
not
than
10 years younger than me.
How old are you?
I'm 40.
Yeah, you are not 10 years younger than
How
me.
old are you?
Thank you.
How old are you?
Wait,
I'm
yeah,
20. Benjamin Buttons, baby. Let's get it.
Benjamin
Okay,
Buttons.
so you know
There it
what?
is.
Either way, I'm still at that age where I grew up watching.
I feel
4,
better.
5 I grew up watching 4, 5, and 6,
Right.
and I remember whenever everything was ramping up to go, for the Phantom Menace,
Yeah.
and how much hype there was around it. I remember going to see it because there's all these pictures with Jake Lloyd, and he's there as young Anakin. You have the shadows
R.I.P.
of Darth Vader and everything. The awesome pod racer sequence. You get
And then
in
you
there.
see Darth Maul,
He just said
who
my
looks
least favorite.
amazing and is
You
by
see-
far one of my favorite Sith Lords by appearance.
Darth Maul.
By appearance.
Darth Maul is one of my favorite, and there's a story with his brother. Do you know about his brother?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah,
Savage?
Yeah, yeah, okay,
Yes.
okay.
Yes,
Oh,
listen,
I love you guys.
It's in Clone Wars.
Hold
It's
on.
in Clone
Oh,
Wars.
okay. I
They
did not watch
hit.
Clone
They
Wars.
hit.
Darth Maul and the Death Watch and the Siege of Mandalore is one of my favorite stories. Absolutely.
Okay, I
And
have
they hit
newfound respect for both of you
They
gentlemen.
hit
That's,
so much of Darth Maul and Savage's Savage Opress's backstory
Yeah,
in Clone Wars.
Yes.
I am so proud of you boys.
Dude, listen,
Oh,
Palpatine fights Darth Maul
Yes.
in Clone Wars.
Palpatine
And-
does?
Yes.
Yes.
And it's so freaking good, dude.
The animation
It's such
is
a
phenomenal.
good
The
fight.
story is
I've got to
great.
watch these
You
Clone
finally-
Wars.
you
I'm gonna
finally-
watch some cartoons.
And he
guys.
doesn't kill him.
No.
He doesn't kill him because Maul comes back in Star Wars Rebels.
And in Rebels, you get the final battle between Darth Maul and Obi-Wan Kenobi on Tatooine.
Did you?
Yes.
What was the comic book series where Maul and Vader fought? Do you remember that?
I'm not sure, but man, I love Vader in the comics because that man is a monster.
I almost want to say that was
You
the
really-
Dark Horse Darth Vader series.
It was Dark Horse.
Yeah,
It may
you-
have been Darth Vader.
Let me
series.
just hit on that real quick. Dude, you see how much of a monster Darth Vader truly is when he's on the dark side of things in the comics.
Yeah.
So there's the famous comic book, and I forget which storyline it is, or which comic
I think
line
I know
it
where
is.
you're going with this.
But there's the story where he's on a planet or whatever, and they're invading,
we
and
had
like
you surrounded.
and he's like
All I'm
they're like
surrounded
we
by
have
is fear and dead men.
yeah fear and dead men, and he slaughters them, and it's like
That
bro.
is the most awesome
So
line. in
some
a
of the
comic
the
book.
books, you get to truly see Vader. You get to truly see how Vader is. And the movies, I understand, it's an uncomfortable suit, and they do slow motion lightsaber battle. I will say, and I give credit
the
to
movies that involve Darth Vader now, or the animated project, or the games, because
I saw some fan made stuff that was amazing.
The Fallen Order games, both Fallen Order games have Darth Vader,
Yeah, that is
you
true.
also
and you
see-
fight him as a boss.
Yes, and
He
you
is
also
the final boss, I think,
Sorry.
of both, if I'm not mistaken, and he is.
I know
Interesting.
in Fallen Order you fight him as the final boss. I don't remember in
Jedi
Jedi Survivor you fight
you fight Darth Vader.
former Jedi.
Oh
He
yeah,
also- but
yeah.
has
You're right.
an
You're right.
orange lightsaber.
Plo Koon was one of the only ones that ever wielded the orange because it
You
was the
find out
hardest
this guy
crystal
is
to have.
actually from the time of the High Republic.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Speaking of which, they have High Republic books now that are canon, and they are very good
they
books.
Are very good.
I actually don't have my High
Well, see,
Republic book.
I would say, in old Matt of years past, I loved to read. Like
I found myself getting back into
old
it recently.
Matt resurged recently because I found it is right behind you actually. My World of Warcraft. I said it anyway. World of Warcraft, Rise of the Horde trilogy
And,
that I've got over
Plains,
there. Yeah, and it was one of those ones. I'll tell it myself. I'm 19 pages deep.
Yeah.
Because there's energy and time.
Yeah.
And it's
For sure.
If I,
find
have time
myself,
and energy, we're streaming.
I find myself most of the time reading it as I'm going to bed.
Yeah.
I'll lay in bed, and it might keep me up sometimes, but it's worth it to me because it's exercising the brain, but indulging in a good story or whatever before bed. It kind of tires you out, when you get to a point where you feel successful with a book, it feels really nice to go to sleep after that, because then, one, you dream of it and it's awesome. But two, it was, at least if you're a visual thinker like me, then it's awesome. But then also you feel very well rested, even if the sleep is short for some reason. After reading a book, that rest is so good, dude.
Well,
It's
that's
satisfying.
like Christine Golden. She writes a lot of the world of, and Richard A. Knack. Two of my favorite authors. They do a lot of the fantasy stuff, and they write a lot of the world of Warcraft. Dogs. My dog's made an appearance.
The doggies.
I'm not going to let Kobe try.
Doggies.
Me and Angela talked about letting the Kobe up here, because Crow Beans is the coolest dog ever. We talked about letting him come up here and being a part of the sampling of the wings. These are not ones I will give my dog. That is animal cruelty.
Dude, you'll kill your dog.
James says he wants another wing. Look at him.
He's sitting up.
Yeah, he said,
Anyways.
throw it
Okay,
my way.
so- what was
I'm making an executive decision on that one.
Let's get back on track
Yeah.
here. What's your favorite? What was your least favorite?
My least favorites. Thank you for bringing
Yes,
us back.
yes.
Because, dude, I can talk Star Wars
I'm
forever in
telling
a
you,
billion different angles.
we'll have to every year. We'll have to do it.
Yeah, I
Oh, yeah.
agree.
Or if there's any big releases or anything, I'd wager we could
For
do an
sure.
episode if we don't have a guest lined up.
Hell
We
yeah.
could do another one.
Speaking of guests, real quick, I want to segue. We had a little situation, and it's because of his obligations. We had Connor that was going to come on the 18th. He does an amazing thing with Russ Vegas Reptiles and Zoo TU.
Yeah.
Drill popped on him. He is military,
he's
and I
military,
salute him. Mad respect for the guy and his duty to our country. Thank you, Connor, for what you do. He had to postpone his coming on the show on the 18th. But as fate would
Replacement.
have it, sitting there drinking a couple of cold ones, talking to a buddy of mine last night, actually. And,
Strawberry Jam.
At Strawberry Jam at Barth Grayson's Farms in Bald Knob. We had a booth set up. We were having a good time. It was a great time. The bands
One
were
of the last
phenomenal.
shows Metallica ever did before they blew up.
That is true.
Yeah.
It's a full
At that
circle.
actual Grayson Farms, Metallica was there. It is a true story. But these bands are up and coming. You've got there were several bands. We got to meet a couple of the artists. We got to meet Spa City. Sound, I think is their name, out of Hot Springs. They were great. There was Greasy
Shout
Tree.
out.
Yeah, shout outs to you
Shout
guys. There was Greasy Tree out of Jonesboro that was phenomenal. The Tina Kasi band. I'm not sure where they're from. Very bluesy. They were good too.
Yeah.
We didn't stick around for the last band. We were spent. It was a long, long day, but it was a great, as always, when we go out to any of the Strawberry Jam or festivals that Barth hosts, they're always phenomenal. So,
Hell,
Beer de Michelanche.
sorry, get another beer, guys.
No, don't
Least favorite.
apologize.
Oh yeah. So, anyways, we have who?
We have Blake Woodson,
Hey-o,
Bit of
the
a-
Ewok of Rock.
the Ewok of Rock. He is.
Is that his name?
What was his old
Yeah.
thing he did?
Lunchbox.
Hangover Allen. He did.
Oh yeah, no, he actually did a Zach Galifianakis impression.
He did a
of
phenomenal. He
Alan.
would
Was
walk
that the
around.
guy you were telling me about
Yes.
a long time ago?
He's
He would walk
actually-
around with
yeah.
the baby and take photo ops with people. He
That's
has
hilarious.
met, and he said he would be down with telling his story. He said, "How long do we have?" I said, "We try to shoot for an hour and a half, 2 hours." And he said, "I'll try," because this dude has met literally
Well,
every band.
We're always welcome to have guests back. Too.
Yeah, oh, no,
So,
and I talked to him about that.
do a two-parter with him. That'd be interesting.
But I will tell you, he's
there's
going
a
to
lot of
bring. He's been a part of some things, and what's the name of the YouTube thing we were talking about before the show started? The hot takes,
Yeah,
hot takes,
Hot ones.
hot ones. That's
Yeah.
it. And he asked me, and I was like, no. And he said, well, he brings a lot of celebrities on. As soon as he said that, I said, dude, I know what you're talking about. Yes, I've seen
Hot
that
ones,
on
yeah.
YouTube.
It's also
Um,
on Disney Plus now.
Yep.
I didn't know that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
every season.
So Blake Woodson, the Blake Woodson, will be on the show May 18th, and then he was telling me about his schedule because that dude is everywhere. He's going to be in Red Rocks doing a concert there.
That's sick, dude.
Yeah,
Doing is
Yeah.
he music?
he's
Is
an
he
MC.
music?
He does
Yeah,
a lot
he's,
of.
he's also an ordained minister. As he
I
will
had
be
never heard of the
officiating
guy
my
before
wedding.
you referred. Not to disrespect him. I just don't pay attention to local celebrities.
You will like
by any
Blake.
means.
Yeah.
Blake is super intellectual.
He seems
I
cool.
love,
I friended him on Facebook. He accepted my friend request,
Yeah.
and we, I looked at some of his page, and he does some cool stuff. for
we
sure.
were talking, he and I, because I literally skipped across the field when I saw him. He was wearing this shirt that had strawberries all over it, Strawberry
That's
Jam.
fantastic,
So
yeah.
I go skipping across the field, and he tells me, I'm not going to effing skip. And I said, that's okay, I will. So I skipped over to him and threw my arms around him, big bro hug. And we started talking. We were, small talking for a little bit, and I was telling him, while I'm sipping a beer, whatever, chatting with him, I was like, hey, dude, we've got this podcast going right now. I know I've been tempted too, but I just burped earlier, and I remembered
came back.
why I'm not
No
doing
way.
another one.
I'm so hungry.
Go for it, man. I just
Just
So,
plenty.
how long have you known Blake?
I've known Blake for a while. Actually, I think I met Blake through Angela.
So I've met him through volunteering with the fire department. We started off doing things where different charity events and stuff.
just swallow it.
And so I've known him for about 20 years.
Wow, no, that's longer than I've known Blake.
Son of a.
Eruption
You're
got you.
gonna have to ask him about the night that his bus caught fire.
Well, you'll be here. You
Yeah,
can
he'll be
ask
here.
Oh
him.
yeah, I can ask him. About it.
Yeah,
What are you
but
what are you
anyway,
doing, dude?
not to segue too far off.
We talk to celebrities on this podcast,
I'm
bro.
swirling over here back.
Yeah, we're going to have Blake Woodson. He will be in on the 18th. He said it worked with his calendar. Just to text him and remind him he will be here. He is bringing a whole new level to the Wing Challenge to us. We may have to break it into multi-episodes, but the very lowest one hits really high on the Scoville scale. So,
I hate that.
yeah,
bring
we're going to
more
love it.
Jack.
Yes. Speaking of Jack, we got to get into trivia here in a little bit. But my least favorite, to go back to that. Sorry, we went...
Hey,
full-
we're giving them an update. We're
Yeah.
good.
Wanted to give you guys that update on Blake. And Blake, love you, dude. Thank you so much for willing to be a part of the show. We're super excited about having you.
Oh, yeah. Definitely.
But my least favorite was the introduction of Kylo Ren.
It's for Force Awakens?
Yes.
Why?
Kylo Ren, I will say this really close to the microphone. Kylo Ren killed Kanan.
Kylo Ren killed. I think Kathleen
No, he
Kennedy
did.
killed Cannon, but
Kylo Ren killed Kanan the
or
moment...
whoever was CEO when they bought
me-
Star Wars.
That was Bob
No, I
Iger.
am going to say this with emotion.
Bob Iger. Oh yeah, fuck him.
I'm going to say this. That's the only F-bomb we'll ever have on the podcast. But
Well, that's a
Why-
fair one.
wait.
That's a fair one. I think that is the most fair F bomb that I could have dropped.
You get one in PG-13.
So I will say, and I'm going to crack me a
Sorry,
cold
my bad.
one. No,
My
no.
bad to the young listeners' ears.
Well, I always hit it as explicit, so if you're listening, you have your parents' permission. But or you lied about your age. The
Same.
Kylo Ren, the moment, and if I'm ruining this for you, get out of the rock.
If you haven't already understood that this episode is spoiler heavy,
Yes. The fact that
Disney
Kylo-
Plus is a thing, and every Star Wars thing ever, even the holiday special is on there. So,
Yes.
Wait, the holiday special's on there?
on Disney Plus, yeah,
Oh.
So good. Horrible.
it's horrible, but
Yeah.
it's good.
But it was
it's
good.
campy.
Because it's campy. But the fact that Kylo Ren killed Han Solo. Done.
That's where you ended it.
Literally killed every bit of canon. The meeting of Han Solo and Boba Fett when they finally met up. To me, that was one of my most emotional moments in the books.
man, he's
when
getting-
Han
he's getting
Solo.
lit
I am
here.
getting mad. No, I'm probably getting red in the face.
You are.
Because in the books, when I read, when Han Solo, I'm getting preachy. Holy crap! Let me calm down.
We'll
When-
move on to my least favorite episode, and then we can dive into.
Let me just say
Kylo.
Han Solo, Boba Fett. That's my whole thing.
Okay.
You go ahead.
No, you're right.
My least favorite episode is none.
None. The nun episode where all the nuns came out with lightsabers.
Here's my hot
Yes,
take.
It's the Conclave episode.
Here's my hot take. And this is the hot take I take with everyone. I've taken this with my stream and everything before. I've talked this out for years and years now.
He said it was a hot take heavy one, so go ahead.
Okay.
It's not my story to tell. At the end of the day, I think that's you even made a face at that. I think at the end of the day, that's something everyone in every single fandom, yes, everyone in every fandom struggles to realize is it's not our story to tell.
Okay, but that doesn't.
Hold
mean
on,
you can't
hold on.
decide
I'm not done.
Ooh, Reverend Zechariah.
Hell, let me preach. Now, come on. No, but when you read a book,
Yeah,
you can judge the book. You can be like, I don't like that. I wouldn't have ended the
Close the
story that
book.
way. But is that your book?
I bought it.
But is it your book? Is it your story to tell?
It's
Are
mine
you the
as-
author?
It's mine as I'm reading it.
It's your story to read. It's your story to experience. But is it your story to tell?
Don't publish it if it's shit.
Okay.
Okay, hold on.
But either way, that's my thing. And that's my thing with every movie series ever, anything. Because people will often be like, I didn't like this about Marvel, or I didn't like this about this, or that. I exist in a universe where these things are an escape for me, and they're there for me to
That's fair.
experience them.
Very fair.
That's not my story. If I want to tell my story about it, I'll make something based on Star Wars. And I'll... Kobe.
Crowbean's joined us. What's up, pal?
He's a puppy.
You can't have these wings, buddy.
But if I want, because
trying
that's
to
the
get 'em.
beautiful
He
thing
smells
about that's the beautiful thing about capitalism in America and stuff. Because I'm not a big. not a big capitalist fan, but
Oh, Lord, Zach. Lord Zach.
I spawned from Diablo. Anyways, so my thing is he wants to suffer, I guess.
Glutton for punishment over here.
My thing is with everything, and
Feel
I
sorry for your
mean
toilet
everything.
later, Joe.
I do too.
Is
Okay, go ahead.
is at the end of the day, these things, because like video games are an escape for me. I
Yeah,
use
that's
those as an
fair.
escape. Movies are an escape for me. Books. If I don't like it, I'll quit. I'll quit reading it. I'll quit watching it. I'll quit playing it or whatever. But I want to experience the story that they want to tell me. It's not my story to tell. I might not like it. Don't get me wrong. I might. Matt's sitting over here crying into his hands. I might not like the story that they want to tell. And Star Wars is special because it has Legends content that they already had that a lot of us,
Yeah.
especially older folks,
Skiddy-dee.
but a lot of people had already went into this universe with other things. And so they're predispositioned for it to go one way. And then obviously another company buys it and they
Ruined
decide
it.
they want to take the story another way. Is another way to say that.
Ruined it.
But my problem is if that's the way the storytellers want to go with it, I don't care. I want to experience it the way that they're going to give it to me. Even if it's bad.
However-
and don't get me wrong, I might have my... Don't get me wrong. I don't like the sequel trilogy.
Okay, fair.
However, none of those movies are my least favorite because at the end of the day, it still brought closure to a story that
Okay.
that I wanted to see the closure to. Because I think when we all saw episode 6, when you see episode 6, even as someone that didn't know 7, 8, and 9 were ever going to come out, it felt like there was more that you could do with the ending.
Until they ruined it.
Until they ruined it to some people. But either
To
way,
all
so
people.
that's why I have no least favorite, because as a story, it rounds it out to me and it brings closure to something that in my brain I was like 6 shouldn't end with 6. 6 is cool and it has a cool ending, but it feels like the ending
It had a cool ending.
it feels like the ending to 5 though, where like they get, everything kind of just wraps up in a way where I was like, there's some more to be told here, and then you watch 6, but 6 ends in a way where I was like, there's some stuff that I feel
Where
like,
do they go from here?
yeah, where
Yeah.
how does the galaxy recover
The New
from
Republic.
this, or
What do we have? You
yeah,
know?
and also, yeah, you beat the Empire. That doesn't establish a new government by
Absolutely
any means.
not, because in the books, Yu Zong Vong. I mean, there's like other enemies that exist.
For sure, yeah, you have to now we're in this world where okay, you killed the reigning troop, for the galaxy. We still have to come together and reunionize this because
Okay.
now it's torn and divided.
That's fair.
And 7, 8, and
And
9
I
bring more
appreciate-
of that closure to me. Don't get me wrong. I know there's plot holes. I know there's issues with the story. I know that.
That they deviated from the story.
Especially from someone going to school for being a writer, I understand 100% there's issues with these stories. However, if I depart myself from what I wanted the story to be, because at the end of the day, it's not my story to tell. If I depart myself from what the story used to be, because at the end of the day, they said that's not canon, so me objectively, because I'm pretty good at thinking objectively, I have to put myself in a headspace where I'm like, okay, that's no longer the way it's going to go down. Which is a struggle for a lot of people, because they're like, they really read into these books or whatever. And
Because
so
they
they're-
were there for years
for sure,
before.
no.
so they established in their head, this is the way it has to be.
Like the clone of Luke Skywalker.
Yes, exactly. And Mara
Or his
Jade
wife,
and
yeah,
a
Mara
bunch of
Jade.
stuff.
Mary Jade is gone.
Yeah.
She doesn't exist in the new movies.
So is.
Well, we don't know that for sure.
so
We
is
do,
Anakin
they
and
have
his
to.
No, there's some of the novels.
there's no-
So there's some of the
oh.
novels nowadays and comics that kind of hint that he had a love
novels and
interest.
comics is where it's at. If you get into the
Yeah.
movies, they've killed off the chance of
Okay,
that.
but there's
Well,
there's
not
comics now that
technically,
are.
We're gonna do a
because-
Marvel multiverse.
No, there's new comics and books that establish a presence
of a wife.
of a love interest for sure.
They get
for-
divorced and he went and lived on the thing drinking little squirrel milk. I mean, I'm
let's
sick.
but hold on.
And,
Let's look at other stories where there were problems with a love interest and the person did go off to discover themselves or whatever.
But Luke
It hits on
Skywalker
that.
went out like a chump.
For sure. Oh yeah, for sure. I don't like the way Luke died.
I don't like the way Luke died.
Yeah.
I don't like the way they made Luke. Oh no, I can't. Yoda's like, read the books, and they all burn down. I don't like any of that. It completely ruined the story
Yeah.
of Star Wars. completely, and I appreciate their artistic take
Yeah.
and what they did with it. It gave me something else to watch.
I
but the
think-
whole time I'm like, what? No. What are you doing?
I think ultimately they should have let Dave Filoni and
Jon Favreau.
Jon Favreau do what they were doing with Mandalorian.
At their own pace.
Yeah, do their own
We
thing.
talked about that earlier.
And J.J. Abrams did Force Awakens, and I don't think Force Awakens was bad.
No, but it was.
But it was
one.
yeah, it was step one. It was episode 4, episode 1. But here's the thing: if they would have let J.J. Abrams do the whole thing, because a lot of people think that the middle ground is where we lost it, because that's the one that
Oh, the Rian Johnson movie.
and that's the one where Luke dies and everything like that. Spoiler alert. But
Luke dies in 5?
No,
Luke
Luke dies
in 6.
Luke dies
Or
in
9.
And
or 8. Was it 8 or 9?
he does 8.
It is
He
8.
does like
You're
it's
right.
Last
You're,
Jedi.
right. You're correct.
But either way, so he dies in 8, and it's because they wanted to do this weird experimental thing, and they were like, let's give each movie to different directors. So they gave J.J. Abrams, who's awesome. I love J.J. Abrams. Cloverfield, all the Cloverfield movies. He does
His
crazy
Star
stuff.
Trek movies were great.
His Star Trek movies are good,
We're not talking about Star Trek.
but yeah.
That's poopy.
Sorry, I'll take that out. But
Leave it there. It's cool. Joe likes it.
So episode 7, I think, is a great setup to a new trilogy. It introduces us to this new character who's
To a direction I cannot follow.
hold on, to a direction you can't follow because you saw the other ones.
Because I read
However-
the books.
Well, yeah, but however, if we would have seen what J.J. Abrams had envisioned for the rest of those, that may have went somewhere completely different. Because it is a well-known fact that 7 came out, it has a story. Rian Johnson comes in, does his thing, and that is not what J.J. Abrams had lined up. He had a vision for 3 movies, but they wanted to give Rian Johnson a chance because they were like, you're going to get your own prequel trilogy, Ryan. Or you're not prequel. You're gonna get your own trilogy of
He
movies.
came across with the executive voice. I was like, you're going to get your
You're
own.
gonna get your own trilogy, Ryan. But anyways, so we know that he was gonna get his own trilogy, but Last Jedi was a test for that. So of course he did all this crazy stuff to try to make his. I'm not saying that justifies it, but he did all this crazy stuff. If we would have, because who came in on 9 to undo? Because we know that 9 retconned a bunch of stuff 8 said.
Wasn't
if you
that
watch,
Colin Trevorrow?
no, it was J.J. Abrams.
Oh, Colin Trevorrow was originally set to do 9.
Yeah.
But then.
But
everything
J.J.
went
Abrams
crazy.
came back.
Yeah.
It was like the Justice League thing where they were like, let's have Zack Snyder do all the DC, but then let's bring in the Avengers dude, Buffy the Vampire Slayer dude,
Yeah,
whatever.
Joss Whedon.
Joss Whedon, yeah, let's have him come do this one instead. And then everyone was like, no,
Fine.
stinky. Like, give us Zack Snyder's version. And so we did. But either way, so it was like, why don't you just let J.J. Abrams tell his story? Because J.J. Abrams is a huge fan of Star Wars. If you watch Force Awakens without any knowledge of 8 and 9,
Can't.
don't go into it thinking about 8 and 9. Just go rewatch.
So
objectively
but that's where
rewatch.
we're going to talk about plot holes
Well, yeah.
later, and that's where my plot holes comes up.
Well, yeah, but objectively rewatch
Rey?
Force
Really?
Awakens. Yeah, objectively rewatch Force Awakens just as a Star Wars fan.
Okay.
Not as a Legends
So
fan.
I did initially when I watched it.
Well, yeah,
I
but
watched it
just-
as a Star Wars fan. I think Rey had potential opportunity
because
to be
of 7.
to
Of Force Awakens.
to be a phenomenal character.
Because of
However,
Force Awakens.
all of a sudden she's a beast at the Force.
Well, no, but it doesn't establish that in Force Awakens. She's not a
Honestly,
beast at the
no.
Force and crazy in Force Awakens. She's just
In
discovering
episode
her.
8, yeah.
It comes on later.
Yeah,
And if you look at it in
So-
The Force Awakens, you're looking at the possibility of 2 Jedi because Finn.
Yeah, and
shows that
Finn
he's-
shows.
I never picked that up on Finn.
Well, they do a few things where
They
like
do
you
a
hear
few
the
things.
Force sound effect that they use and
Yeah,
everything
I
now,
know,
where it's like
but
a.
I didn't ever. I feel like there could have been something cool with Poe. They just
Finn.
or Finn. Sorry. I just feel like they just.
I think
kinda,
it's a cool idea. I mean, it takes from Legends a little bit to take someone that used to be a stormtrooper to and convert them to a Jedi, basically, or
I was
a
thinking of
Force
Poe
user.
Dameron, who was the other
Yeah.
character. Another one that it could have been a great spinoff.
Yeah,
I mean, he was basically
I
your
think-
current
I feel
Wedge
like they were just
Antilles.
like, hey, let's just interject new characters that all of a sudden
Yeah.
the kids are going to like Ewoks and Gungans, and
Yeah.
it was too much, man.
Okay.
well, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
So if you watch Force Awakens without thinking about 8 and 9,
Like watching
because 8
Twilight as not a vampire movie.
Sure.
Okay.
No, but because 8 and 9 is where it establishes. Oh, she's suddenly really good as a Jedi. Like she's suddenly.
Where
this
does she
powerful.
train?
Exactly.
Where does she learn the
all
Force?
that stuff happens in 8. 7.
So you're okay. I'm
7
sorry. I'm looking
yeah.
at the whole spectrum and going,
So
it's
look-
broken, God.
Yeah, go into
But
7, just watching it at 7,
it's not bad,
and you start to realize, oh, they've got something here, and they're doing something cool.
and they ruined it.
And they did, because they brought Ryan Johnson. And not that he's a bad director. His trilogy may
when
have
you
been
start
fine.
bringing Palpatine's bloodline into the mix.
Well, but that wasn't in there.
No. And trust me, gospel truth. I hear you. If you're just the book of Zach, and I'm reading the book of Zach, and I'm hearing your gospel message,
Right.
I hear you, and I believe you.
Yeah.
But it's the fact that that wasn't where they left it off.
No, it's
They
not.
went
And don't get me
further,
wrong.
and
Don't
they
get me
ruined
wrong.
it.
I don't like where they took it.
So how do
But
you come
again-
back?
It was a cop out. Where
Yeah,
they took
for
it
sure.
was a flat out cop out.
But again, I will also say that it does round out some interesting things. Let's take away objective thoughts for a second. So, the Emperor in this prophecy, in this whole idea, the Emperor is the true opposite of the Skywalker lineage. Like
If
the
we're
Emperor.
doing things with
Well,
polarization,
the
sure.
Emperor, yeah, the Emperor is doing things to the universe.
So much emotion in me right now.
The Emperor is doing things to the universe
Yeah.
that the Force is literally having to, be like, we need that prophecy kid now to balance this in some way. At first, it balanced it by making one of the Skywalkers evil, and then it brought the balance back because they had to overcorrect that, But also, Clone Wars talks about literally the Force entities, like the people of the Force. But anyways,
That's actually going to be touched on more in Ahsoka season 2.
yeah. Anyways, so to be fair, the Skywalker lineage is tied to the Emperor, because episode 1 through 6, without the sequel trilogy, episode 1 through 6, Skywalker, even 4, 5, and 6, Skywalker is tied to the Emperor somehow. He's got to bring the Emperor down. And Darth Vader.
That's where the books get really
Well, yeah,
good.
for sure. But Darth Vader is kind of the connecting piece there between Luke and the
So
Emperor.
that's where
Okay.
I was going to bring up
Yeah.
the balancing of the Force.
Mm-hmm.
Who do you credit it to? Just segue topic. Stop what we're talking about. Who do you?
Skywalker. I don't
Whom?
attribute it to a specific Skywalker.
You just say the name of or the blood of Christ.
Skywalker.
Basically, you're just like
yes, the blood of Christ. I mean,
the
that's
blood
kind
of Skywalker.
to be fair, that's kind of the exact
Okay,
inspiration
so
for
the blood of Skywalker
for Anakin.
Who do you credit it to?
I don't credit it to anybody because I don't think there is balance in the Force.
There is, and it's to Luke.
to Luke.
Let me tell you why.
Please,
Why?
do elaborate.
Please.
Can I go? I know you guys have shunned me for my book
No,
reading.
no.
Can
No,
I?
no.
Can I talk about the book?
You can talk about Legends
Yeah, you
for
can talk
sure.
about
I think this is a safe space for everyone. Star
So-
Wars. I was trying to be the. Let me just go ahead and say I'm trying to be the devil's advocate for current canon.
So
While
maybe
Matt,
it was the
Matt
gleam
and
off
Joe are
Joe's.
older fans, they're going to be leaning more towards
It,
Legends.
it could have been the gleam off Joe's bald head that was
Yeah.
hitting me, but I felt like there was glaring eyes when I mentioned the book. So
No.
No, I like it.
Joe's like,
No, he
hold
likes
on
it.
now.
Hold
So
on, I like the Legend.
No.
so
he's
have
with
you
you.
read the books?
I've read a lot of them. I love Operation Blackwing.
Heir to the Empire.
Yes.
Okay, great trilogy.
Thrawn.
Okay, so I will throw
Yeah.
my son.
Well,
Yes.
Thrawn's back. He's
It-
canon now.
It's
Well,
yeah.
he dies.
Well, he's canon.
You know
No,
how he
no,
dies.
Well, he dies
Yes.
in canon too.
Does he
but-
die by a Nogri?
No.
He's still alive as of this moment.
No!
Is he still alive?
He's still alive. Hold on, because
He dies by a Nogri. Period. What?
I don't
Okay,
know
hold
that.
on.
I don't
In
know
the
that a
current- hold on,
Nogri
They haven't
exists.
gotten to that point
Yes.
yet, Matt.
But yeah, they are also
They
building.
haven't gotten to
Thrawn
that
is
point.
still
They
building.
just did the first.
The little
book.
gray skinned people
Yes, but
that are
they,
assassins that Thrawn brings in to hunt down and kill Jedis because Luke built a new Jedi temple.
No,
Are we-
they
oh,
haven't gotten that far yet.
They haven't got
oh
that
my
far yet.
God!
Right
Okay.
now, what they're doing with Thrawn.
Sorry,
is
spoiler
set,
alert,
Yeah, what
but-
they're doing right now with Thrawn is set between episode
8, 9.
6 and episode 7.
So
Is it six
first
or nine?
off, Grand Admiral Thrawn,
Yes.
one
Great
of my favorite
character.
characters.
Very
One
well
of my favorite
Very well
characters.
written character.
Do you
His
know-
last moments
Amazing
are
character.
amazing in Legends.
Do you know what he does and how he overpowers his enemies?
Intelligence.
But
Strategy.
in what category? How does he do it? Do you know? And I'm not
I
asking
don't.
you.
I
like
don't.
you
I don't
know.
guess I know what
He
you're
studies
asking.
their art.
Oh yeah. He
Yeah.
studies their art.
He
Yeah.
lost- Philosophy and art,
He
yeah.
studies their art to learn about a culture to understand how to overthrow
Yeah.
them. Such a, like to your point, intellectual. He's just
Yeah.
so
Well,
smart.
what he
I
looks
love
at-
him.
What he looks at with that is the things that they make art of are the things that they cherish, and the things that they cherish are the things that they're prone to be weak to.
Right.
Do you know how he is? Do you know that he is completely protected from the Force?
Yes.
How?
I don't know. I don't remember.
So
I
Grand
have read a
Admiral
lot
Thrawn
of the
in
Legends
books,
Thrawn books, but I just don't.
He wears a branch on his shoulder. This branch has little things on it. I forgot what the word is, but they have little things on this thing, on this branch, like a literal, like a piece of driftwood, if you can imagine,
I remember
off of his shoulder, and there's this lizard that lives on him called a Ysalmari. The Ysalmari creates a force bubble. They can't explain it. They don't know why. The books never explain why, but it biologically creates a force bubble where the force cannot penetrate.
Which Clone Wars and stuff hits on a lot of life forms that are, and Rebels hits on a lot of things that are either force sensitive or immune to the force. It hits on a lot of side stuff that it like I said, the beings that embody the force.
Yeah,
it hits on the father, the son, the daughter, and the mother.
The Mortis people, essentially.
Yeah, the Mortis people. Yeah. It hits on them, which, again, comes straight from Legends.
Well, the downfall, and I'll ruin it for you, for Thrawn, he hires the Noghri.
Yeah.
Did you guys see that in the cartoon? Or
Not yet.
No,
Introduced
Thrawn is just becoming a big thing in
Thrawn is amazing. I love the guy.
I was
as far
assuming
as an arch
with
villain,
some of the stuff that I hadn't seen yet, I was assuming they'd probably already killed him, but I guess not.
No, so the thing is, in the Ahsoka series, that's what it is Ahsoka is hunting Thrawn, because at the end of Rebels, they go off into hyperspace.
You can read about Ahsoka. She's not his end.
Yeah.
So what happens, he enslaves and he kills off cultures and worlds and planets, and he's bringing back the Empire in a major way. Thrawn is amazing. Better than Grand Moff Tarkin. He is like a genius, right, with what he does. However, he underestimates the Noghri, and he enslaves them as assassins. They're beautiful. They're just artists with killing. They're just phenomenal, right? So he brings these Noghri in, and he's sending them out to kill off political leaders of the New Republic, and he's doing all this kind of stuff. There's one, what was his name? Rokru or something like it. It starts with an R. But he brings him, that's his most trusted Noghri, and he brings him in. Well, he's the one that ends up killing Thrawn.
Yeah.
And Thrawn's final statement, oh man, something about how death is beautiful. Rook, that's it. Yes. He puts off this statement. It's almost like an Et tu, Brute type statement. When Julius Caesar gets stabbed by all of his favorites.
Yeah. Thrawn's final moments is insane.
When he gets killed by Rook, I couldn't remember his name. Thank you.
His final words are, "I can't believe I'm dying at my grandest moment of triumph."
Yeah, it's something beautiful, right?
Yeah.
So when you read that in the book, like you were talking about, like, oh, I'm gonna dream about this. When you read that in the book, it's just
and
that
then you
moment.
go to sleep.
You're like, oh my God, Grand Admiral Thrawn just died.
Okay. Yeah, that's
So we will, but yeah, that's I don't know. I love Grand Admiral Thrawn. So least favorite character for me though, Kylo Ren, because he ruined everything that I loved.
Least favorite movie.
Huh?
The least favorite movie was the.
I thought we were talking about characters.
No, we were.
Well, you brought up the.
I will just
Kylo
continue
Ren
to preach my hatred for Kylo Ren because not Kylo Ren.
I love Kylo Ren, but
do not.
I don't like him as much as Darth Vader or Darth Maul.
I think
I don't think he's fun.
He just ruined everything for me.
I like that he's so whiny.
It's
a lot of people didn't like that, but I was like, "Look at Anakin, bro." Anakin. I mean, that was the prequels.
Yeah. That apple did not fall far.
The hate from the prequels was largely because, excuse me,
eruption.
Because Anakin was whiny. I remember a lot of my friends in high school being like, "The prequels suck because Anakin." Yeah, and it was like, all right, bro. People are whiny. People are whiny. Like you can credit that to a bad character flaw or whatever. People are whiny. I whine about things. You whine about things. You whine about things. We have whiny things.
Yeah.
He doesn't like to play any game that he doesn't win automatically. But...
I don't like... Oh! Ouch. I don't mind losing. It's just when... Yeah. Oh, ouch. You heard me, doctor.
But, yeah. But anyways, yeah. I think that's cool. I think that you really hate... From what it sounds like, the sequel trilogy mainly centered around Kylo Ren and where it went after 7.
Well, Kylo Ren, because of him, and
I think if we retconned 8 and 9 both completely out of the picture, took them out of the picture off Disney Plus and everything,
the characters
and redid 8 and 9 from 7's point of view, I think we could have had something really cool.
You miss out. Well, so there's other characters that are super mission critical, right? Like Wedge Antilles. Like Wedge Antilles, you only see him brief moments in the movies, but in the books, he's such a hero. He's phenomenal, X-Wing pilot. He's huge.
Even in some of the old video games.
Yeah. Wedge Antilles was amazing. So if you...
Rebel Assault 2.
Yeah.
Video games, they give him a little bit more of a spotlight than the movies did. But in the books, man, he was a hero. He became a general. He became like a political leader. He was huge. And
Huge.
I'm going to talk about Wedge Antilles. We're going to give him tax breaks. But no, if you, sorry, anti-Trump moment. But if
I
you,
need to be a Wedge Antilles.
I had a Wedgie Antilles once. But if you take Wedge Antilles, his whole piece that he did on his discovery missions where he was landing on foreign planets where there was believed to be people who were neither for the Empire or the Republic, and he's going out and he's doing all these reconnaissance missions. All of that's gone with the way they took the story.
Yeah.
So you literally eradicated a character who got minimal play in the movies anyway, but in the books he was such a huge piece.
He is.
You just delete him.
Yeah.
Backspace, boop, whoop. All
Yeah.
Wedge Antilles gone.
And again, I tried to acknowledge the fact that a lot of Legends content is great. Again, I'm playing devil's advocate, so I'm someone that's just coming into this experience. I'm just trying to experience these things the way that it comes to me.
Right.
I'm not trying to change it. You
did change my religion a little bit on just episode 7.
Yeah.
I'll agree with you on that. But 8 and 9,
So
8 and 9 still have their problems. I will say I still had a decent time at the theater with them. Don't get me wrong. I was like, I don't like that they're doing this or that. But at the end of the day, I'd come away from the movie, but man, I can't wait for the next one. So,
to me, the thing that I disliked about 8 wasn't where they went story-wise. It's the wasted potential in the characters. Captain Phasma. You had so much.
Oh yeah, and they just do away with her.
And it's literally just a dumb death.
They just kill her.
Snoke.
she was a dumb
Fortnite
character.
does better with Captain Phasma than
but-
Star Wars.
Captain Phasma was a dumb and they really hyped her up to die really quick.
Yeah,
and it was
and
like,
then
you're nobody.
Snoke was this big bad that was supposed
Although,
to be
hey,
the next.
Everybody
Let's-
thought Snoke was Palpatine.
let's get on an agreeable point. Well, he was. Well, anyways.
Yeah, we're not gonna go there.
Let's get on an agreeable point here real quick. Kylo Ren stopping the blaster at the beginning of 7.
okay,
sick as
that's
hell.
an amazing scene.
Sick. I mean, we've seen it in the
Stopping the
books.
blaster bolt.
If you're used to the books, then you understand that they can do that anyways. But
To see it.
to see it happen and him be like, "Ooh," and then before you know anything about Kylo Ren, when you just see a Sith stop the blaster trying to come at him and assassinate him, sick as hell. It's a sick shot.
But again, that leads back into
That's evil eyeing me to hell,
that
dude.
leads into the Knights of Ren. The
I will
Knights of
give
Ren
no
are not
credit-
Force users.
I will give zero credit to Kylo Ren for anything. I won't. I can't.
Okay. There's an unnamed person at the beginning of the movie that stops a blaster bolt that's sick as hell. It's a sick shot.
Cool scene.
Cool
Like you
scene,
told me the
there you
battle
go.
scene where everybody was
Yeah.
dying and, Finn was checking on blah, blah,
Yeah.
blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
Cool scene.
Favorite Star Wars game?
Shadows of the Empire.
I can't hate on that.
It was on Nintendo 64. Absolutely
It's great.
loved it.
It's on more than but anyways.
Well, I played it.
Yeah,
I should
64.
date myself a little bit. I played it on Nintendo 64. Loved the game. I was like, holy crap,
You got a
this is a Star
Switch?
Wars game.
Autumn has a Switch. You can re-download it.
That's
Play
the
it.
You can
Dash
re-download
Rendar,
it on
right?
PC. Yes.
Oh, yeah.
Dash
Okay,
Rendar.
they're making a Dash Rendar action figure now.
That is super cool. He was a super cool character. He was a bounty hunter, I believe. He was just kind of a rapscallion type character, Han Solo-ish, we will call him.
Yeah.
A little bit better with a blaster
He's
than
cool.
Han.
He's cool.
Hey, very cool character.
Very much
I
better
would
with a
feel-
blaster than Han. Han had luck and probably force sensitivity on his side.
I mean,
I think Dash did too.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, for sure.
But I think for me, if I go back down memory lane and I think of my favorite Star Wars, I love the Old Republic. Don't get me wrong.
Knights of the Old Republic.
Oh yeah, Knights of the Old Republic.
Did you ever play the MMO?
Yeah,
Just the Old
I
Republic?
have it on my PC. I
So
love
good.
it.
It's still so good, man. They still update it frequently.
Even
It's
free to
still-
play. Like if you don't subscribe, still a
Still
great
free,
game.
Still great game. Story. The thing is that's one of the only MMOs, and that might be because I'm a Star Wars fan, but one of the only MMOs that I can play and read every line of dialogue.
Yep.
And I'm just into
100%.
it. I'm just.
It's
in
like, oh, I wish I subscribed so I could get that extra
I
piece of
hate.
loot.
Don't get me wrong. I hate EA, and I hate what they do with a lot of games because they're
Such-
super money sucking. They're
I'm-
greedy
yeah,
little.
I'm about to age myself. I never played that because I was such a big fan of Star Wars
Play it now.
Galaxies.
Play it now. They.
He didn't have a PC.
Oh,
I used to have a
Joe's
PC.
got to get a gaming PC.
C3PO.
Subscribers, we need you.
Donate.
C3PO Joe.
We're gonna start a Joe Fund Me.
We need a Joe.
Joe Fun. That's good.
Joe needs a PC, guys, because he's like, guys, I'll play with you on his Xbox.
You know, it's my PS5. Get it right,
Or
but
P-
Oh, PS5.
His PS5, but you're
Least
not
favorite
PC.
game.
Least favorite.
Least favorite game.
This is gonna hit you because I love the game,
No, I bet it's not.
but I hate the game. Jenga Fett.
Oh,
No,
Star
I
Wars
don't like
Bounty
it
Hunter.
I don't like it either.
They remastered it, and the controls are absolutely horrible.
Yeah, I don't like it.
So when I originally played the game,
Jango Fett's a cool character to explore.
it was called Star Wars Bounty Hunter.
Yeah.
I called it wrong.
It's
It
a-
was Jango Fett.
Yeah, but it's a cool game to explore.
you
his
can't
backstory.
though.
But-
The perspective. I was hunting.
Well, I just mean the fact that it explores more of Jango Fett's.
True,
line.
true.
It explores his backstory. And stuff,
IG-88. It's the
IG-88,
battle.
yeah.
Anybody who's ever played that game, there's a battle sequence where you have to. He's at a third health. He's at 1/3 health left. You kill him. I could never
Yeah.
kill him. I could never get further in the game because the second phase of it,
Okay,
you're
so
having
you
to
don't
follow.
like the game because you're bad at it. Okay.
No,
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 no.
It's got
I know,
the
I
camera
know.
perspectives
The
and
camera
stuff.
perspectives was 100%
Camera
it.
perspectives,
Like
yeah.
you could not see the next platform to jump on.
Old games with camera perspective. Look, I want to hit on something real quick. This is another hot take. A lot of people like to hate on new games because they're like, old games were so much better, blah, blah, blah. Go back and play some of those old games. I dare
The
you.
Super Star Wars.
I
the Super
dare
Nintendo
you
was
to go
absolutely
play back
relentless.
some of those
that
old
was Zach
games.
with the thunder that time,
Yeah.
not me.
I dare you to go back and play some of those old games and come back to me and
Okay,
tell me that
so-
they were better than new games. No, they weren't.
Okay.
Like,
No.
they may have had bugs
There's-
and stuff, and new games have their bugs, but, dude, they play so much better. They move so
They
much
really
better.
do. The
Everything.
nostalgia was there for some of the old
Don't
games.
get me wrong, story-wise, maybe they're not as good as they
Well,
used to be, for sure.
Fair.
I'm about to
Some
hit-
of them are great.
Yeah, I'm
Some
about
of
to
them
hit you.
fantastic.
Both my favorite and my least favorite are both
Yeah.
PlayStation 1 games.
Well, let's hear it.
My favorite is Rebel Assault 2.
It's a good game.
Rebel Assault 2's fun.
My least favorite is Masters of Terrace Cosmos. They tried
I
to
didn't
get
play
Star-
shitty games, so I don't
No,
know what that
no,
one was.
I
So
had never
here's
even
the
heard of that.
They-
Was that the Mortal Kombat type game?
Yes.
Yes,
They
I did
tried to
play that.
basically
Play
make Tekken with Star Wars, and
Yep.
it was
Hey, I
horrible.
want you guys to acknowledge something that you've done to me. I am someone that many of my friends who love video games have acknowledged that I have this extensive knowledge, probably because of autism, this extensive knowledge of video games in my brain. I have never once heard of that.
Masters of Terrace Kazi
No,
I thought it was Terrakazi.
or Terrakazi.
Either
Yeah.
way, I've
I
never
loved
heard of that.
Luke
It's a-
Skywalker and Darth Vader
Yeah,
in that game.
But
You
it's,
would
it's
wreck.
it's a platform
Never heard
fighting
of it.
game that you can get ring outs and stuff like that. It's basically if Soul
Ring
Calibur,
out. That's
Yeah,
what they would say.
It's
Yeah.
basically if Soul Calibur was based in Star Wars.
Sounds like Smash Bros.
It is horrible. No, because it's not platforming.
That was your least favorite?
That was my least favorite.
I loved that game.
I hated that game.
So, we were talking about Killing Joe after this episode.
Yeah, I've bgot brought the gun
I have
just in case.
Anduril
if I
right
go missing,
here.
it was them.
My
But-
favorite Star Wars game, Knights of the Old Republic. I'm cliche on it.
Such a good game, though.
Such a good game.
That
talking about
twist at the
MMO,
end
yeah?
is just,
No, Knights of the Old Republic.
No,
the
Xbox
yeah, yeah,
original.
yeah.
Well,
twist
now
that-
now you can play on everything.
Yeah, the
but
twist at the end of it is beyond a doubt my
Dude,
favorite moment in
Revan?
Star Wars. Yes.
Revan is my favorite
Character,
Star Wars
yes,
character
right there.
of all time.
Fair.
Yes.
Which is insane. I mean, to be fair, it's easy to make a video game character or RPG video game character your favorite character of a universe because of how much you RP as the character,
Yeah, but
how much
his
you have to put
lore-
yourself.
You put yourself into
But
him.
also,
Yeah.
he does so much to impact the lore that we are even seeing them bring in through even episode 9. You know, we all hate episode 9 or 8 or whatever, but they bring in, what is the planet? The Sith planet that they bring in.
Yep.
They bring in the Sith planet, it has the big arena, has old people that we only know. We
just
only
saw
know
this
the area
episode.
from Old Republic, from Revan lore. So the fact that they put that there is like, oh, Knights of the Old Republic canon. And then now we know where there's a remake coming. So obviously canon. But
Exegol.
Exegol. So all of that kind of stuff is like, oh, that's a reference to, Knights of the Old Republic. That's making canon. Least favorite is Star Wars Battlefront 2, the new Star Wars Battlefront 2.
Thank you, my dude.
Okay, you know what? No, I can get behind
Battlefront 1,
Battlefront
amazing.
2016 or 17 Battlefront,
Amazing.
I
Great
liked it.
game.
Don't get me wrong, I liked the old Battlefront games better, but I was like, okay, I can get down with this. I can get down with this change in pace. Battlefront 2, they added like all these card systems and all these weird pay to
Galactic
win
Conquest
things.
was fun.
And exactly. And it was just like this new Battlefront. I was just like, no, dude, like give it back to the
You
LucasArts
ruined it.
specifically.
Yeah,
Let
they
them do
ruined it because it was the introduction of all the different characters. You could be the superheroes, and it broke the game. Me and Austin,
Battlefront 1 and 2 to me, like the old Battlefront 1 and 2, were so good because you weren't playing as those characters. And then
No, you were
2
random
gave you the
clone
bonus
trooper.
where it was like, oh, you're on a 30 kill streak. Yeah, you get to play as Luke because you're going to win, obviously. So, it was fine. And then it had the heroes versus villains mode where it was just Mos Eisley. That was the only map. Mos Eisley.
I
And
thought there was an indoor. map too, wasn't there?
Not
With
not
all
the
heroes?
not the
Not the
original
original.
Battlefront 2. It's
In-
just
in
Mos
this-
Eisley.
Okay.
In
And
this
you
one,
just
there's
ran
an
around
inbound
killing each other as bounty hunters or as Jedi or Sith or whatever. Hey, we had a pee-pee. We had pee-pee break.
Yeah, the force was strong within us.
The force was very strong. Battlefront 2, we don't like it.
Yeah, we don't like Battlefront 2, and then when we need to 1, 2, 3 and Shay. Ready?
Hell,
And,
1, 2, 3.
Ian, Ul.
Ian,
All right. So, back to it.
Favorite character?
Favorite character. Who's your
I can
favorite?
start. Yeah, I was about to say. I'll start on
because
this
you've
one.
been going last the past few times. I feel bad.
That
That was enough of Zach.
Oh.
So, Joe, who's your? I'm joking.
That's good.
That's a new character.
So, who's
That's
your?
good. It might be Revan.
You kind of alluded to him earlier before the piss
Well,
break.
yeah.
so
When we were
that's-
talking about Knights of the, it might be Revan. I do like Nihilus. I think Darth Nihilus is very cool. I love Sith. That's something we didn't even think about. Sith or Jedi?
Sith, 100%.
Sith, 100%.
You know why?
What about you?
I'm a Mandalorian.
Nope, that wasn't a choice. He's like, I like
No, see,
broccoli.
no,
We said
see-
mashed potatoes and macaroni and cheese. You're that kid at the restaurant.
No, if I'm picking something that I'm following.
No, if
I'm
you're picking between
the
Jedi
Mandalore.
or Sith.
He picked Switzerland. Let him pick
Oh
Switzerland.
my god.
Look,
Go make a
We
flag.
all know America won World War II. It's
I'm
all
just neutral
okay.
here. He looks
Stop,
offended.
Stop a slug. Stop a slug with your little light
All right,
sword.
fair enough. Anyways, I'm Sith. You're Sith. He's yeah.
Why are you Sith?
He's Jedi. That's what he is.
He is.
Why am I Sith?
Yeah.
Because I, as a person, see no reason why we should fault someone for having emotions.
I love you, dude. My whole thing for being Sith is the pursuit of passion.
The pursuit of passion.
You're not allowed to do that as a Jedi.
You're not allowed.
You have to
no.
lose yourself.
And that's why Obi-Wan, by definition, is not a just strict Jedi. Anakin,
more gray.
No, well, Anakin's obviously
gray
a
Jedi.
but he is because he falls in love, and he's okay with letting his apprentice fall in love. He understands the emotional impact, and I think at some point, to some degree, Yoda does too.
Well, here's the thing.
Because
Yoda.
Yoda
Yeah. Go
is
ahead.
almost this all-knowing creature. I see no way. Legends, prequel, sequel, whatever, canon, non-canon, I see no way that Yoda did not see that coming with Anakin and Padme. And that leading down that. I mean, he did in a way because he tried to warn for several different reasons. But
Can I interject?
interject.
Okay, so to his
Check
point,
from Final Fantasy X. Shout out.
so to his point earlier, no, Vader did not command the stormtroopers, and I told you I would come back to this. I'm glad I came back to this.
Okay.
Do you know who commanded them?
Palpatine.
Palpatine. The whole entire time, he mentally controlled everything. All of these space
Being hammered with
battles.
chips and stuff like that.
No,
Well, no.
through the
Dude,
Force.
Palpatine
Oh,
is
through the Force?
just
Through the
powerful.
Force, he controlled even the
Hey.
amazing. My favorite TIE fighter pilot was Baron Centrafel. He is the best one. He was one of the ones in the movies where
Let's-
you see Vader chasing Luke.
We have
one
to-
of the TIE fighter pilots.
Yeah,
That's Baron
he's controlled.
Centrafel.
He's
Okay.
controlled.
He's
by-
controlled by Palpatine.
and
the whole
also,
time.
let's acknowledge the fact, real quick, that Palpatine is so powerful with the Force that he killed Darth Plagueis.
Yes.
Which, unfortunately, in canon right now, we got a little bit of a hint. Spoiler alert: where you get a little bit of
Acolyte.
a hint toward Plagueis towards the end of Acolyte, because that's where they were definitely going with Acolyte. Was because everyone kind of suspected with Acolyte, they're like, oh, it's going to be about Palpatine, and then it ended up being about this other person. But then, at the last episode of Acolyte, you see Plagueis peek around this cave corner with his fingers, which was great because I was like, now I want them to continue Acolyte, and that's probably what they wanted you to do, was be like, see that, and
So
be like,
you
oh,
woke up.
all right.
So-
Anyways,
Sorry.
but so they were going to go down a Plagueis storyline and an Emperor.
I can be down with that.
And I would love that
Yeah.
because people
definitely.
do not understand, because he's kind of a cheesy character in the movies. I'm going to be honest with you. Palpatine's kind of a cheesy, kind of weird
But he's so
character.
powerful, dude.
But yeah, when you read Legends content or even current canon book
He's not
content,
even remotely close to the
Palpatine-
most powerful Sith.
he's not. But he's smart is the problem. And he's very powerful.
He-
Just not the most powerful, but he's also intelligent with that. Because there's a lot of Jedi, like Darth Bane, I would argue,
Darth Bane
is very much more brute force oriented than intelligence.
See, that actually leads me into my favorite character, which is actually Darth Nihilus.
Darth Nihilus is
Okay.
amazing. I love Darth
I mean,
Nihilus.
the man
Okay.
consumes entire planets through the dark side of the Force.
Just to live longer.
Yeah, just to live longer.
And I love that, and I can't refute or argue or comment. I think that was a very good.
play the Old Republic MMO. It hits on Nihilus.
Okay.
My favorite. I'm going to lean a little toward the Joe side here, but
That's
my
okay.
favorite because of who he is Boba Fett.
Okay.
Okay.
He's not a main character.
Boba Fett is I would argue that he's a very common favorite character that you just wouldn't think.
He's neutral.
But if you want, because he wants his money.
He wants his money.
That's all he wants.
And the fact that, and I'll hit on it and I'll leave it alone because I could go for a long time, which ties back into my hatred towards the deviating from canon.
From Legends.
He gets into, there's a final firefight in an alleyway. You probably read the books,
Mm-hmm.
Joe. There's a final firefight. Han Solo is pinned.
Yeah.
Can't get out.
Yeah. I
Who's
know
got
what
it?
you're talking
Who's got him pinned?
about.
Boba Fett.
Yeah.
Boba Fett's old.
Mm-hmm.
Boba Fett's like, I can't keep doing this.
Yeah.
And Han Solo on the flip side. The book was written so well because it's telling both stories. Han Solo's over there like, just let him kill me. I can't keep running.
Yeah.
And on the flip side, you got Boba Fett like, oh my God, my knees are killing me. I cannot keep chasing this guy. But he was
My knees are killing me.
that literally talk about Boba
Yeah.
Fett's knees hurting.
He was essentially the T-1000 of bounty
Yeah,
hunters.
yeah, for sure.
And they come around the corner. Both of them just drawn like, dude, just do it. Just end me. Both of them are thinking this. Because Boba Fett's like, you are my only bounty who has ever escaped me.
Yeah.
And Han Solo's going, you're the only time I didn't
Reminds
get
me
away.
of Batman and Joker.
Yeah, very similar. You know what they did?
What did they do?
They both lowered their blasters, shook hands, and walked away.
See, and
Sick as hell, dude.
so
What an ending.
I love that kind of ending, especially with like Batman and Joker, because at some point you have to acknowledge one can't be the other, or one can't be the one
can't
without the
exist
other.
without the other.
Yep.
Yeah.
And they shook hands, and he said, "You were, I think, and I forget the verbiage, but basically, you're my only bounty that has ever escaped me."
Yeah.
And shook hands.
That's the same.
Let's Han Solo go. He could have killed Han Solo. Han Solo could have killed him. If Han Solo killed him, he's still the one bounty that got away. If he killed Han Solo,
He collected on the final bounty.
he collected on the final bounty. Either way, it's the end of their story. And how do they end it? Peacefully.
Yeah.
Shook hands.
To
you're,
be fair,
you're a badass.
also, if Boba Fett, let's just throw ourselves into a perspective here, into a dream world here. Boba Fett captures Han Solo.
Yep.
Not the way he did in the movies, but he actually captures Han Solo. After he got away and everything. After Darth Vader wants Han Solo. Or
Jabba.
the Emperor
There's so many
and
people that
Jabba.
wanted Han Solo.
Everyone wants
No
Han Solo.
disintegrations.
After that, what else is there for Boba Fett to do?
Okay, so that
Retire.
leads into this.
Because
Because,
Boba Fett had a love interest.
but he's also very, very achievement driven. What do you do as an achievement hunter on a video game when you've accomplished that last one? You don't.
No, but that leads into this. That leads into this. That leads into the book of Boba Fett in a way, because he goes back to Mos Eisley and he becomes essentially, he wants to be left alone. He wants his area on Mos Eisley, and he wants to be just that kingpin that runs his area. He wants his share of everything that's going through there. He doesn't want the Empire around. He
wants that
doesn't
money,
want the
baby.
Republic around. He wants that money. He wants to respect it. He wants to be left the hell alone.
Yep, that is
Yes.
Boba Fett. And that's why, again,
Boba Fett's
great
your-
summarization there.
Boba Fett's your favorite.
Boba Fett. I had, at one point, I still do, if you look, I have a shrine
Yeah,
of Boba Fett.
There's a lot of Boba Fett.
There's
here.
a lot of Boba Fett.
Once you
over there
guys
behind
get to
you.
once you guys get to see the video side of things, because
Yeah.
we do plan on doing that eventually, you
Go
guys
on.
will see that there's a bunch of stuff, specifically Star Wars stuff, a lot
Yeah.
more than anything behind
Okay,
us.
and this is a hill that I am going to die on.
Uh-oh.
Stop renaming starships. Boba Fett's starship was the Slave
Yes.
One because he was a bounty hunter.
I agree.
I agree. What do
I
they call
agree.
it now? Something stupid.
Just Boba Fett-
it's
Boba
literally-
Fett
it's
starship.
Boba Fett starship. That's it. It doesn't.
It was
have a
Slave
name.
One.
It's
It
Slave
was
One.
Slave One.
What's crazy is they don't want to say that. So the trigger word there,
We know.
trigger warning. The trigger word there is slave.
Why?
I don't know because there are
No, that it's a PC victim.
slaves exist throughout history, throughout
PC victim.
fiction,
It's a PC
throughout
victim.
everything.
Dude, they're still slaves to this day.
I mean, but the thing
There
is,
are
that
slaves to this
starship-
day.
Yeah.
That starship is so significant because it was given to him by his father.
Yes.
It has been
Who taught him
instated.
how to pilot the thing.
And think about this. Jango Fett wasn't an original Mandalorian. He was given his armor by the Mandalorians because of his code of honor.
Yes. We have the Jango Fett helmet here.
Sorry for the thunderclap. I put my
Anyways.
hand upon the
Okay.
holy sacred
We
relic.
hit favorite character. I would say also my favorite character before Revan would be Maul.
Maul
Because
is
when
beast.
I was young, before Disney and stuff, I read a lot of the Maul books. And to be fair, a lot of the Maul books are still canon because they canonize a lot of the stuff through Clone Wars and everything else.
Who wrote the Maul books?
Oh, God.
Will you look that up real quick?
I will look it up.
Because if it was Richard Knack or Christy Golden, I'm a fan. And I will read them. I have not read them. I'll be honest.
Dude, I have one at my house I could give you to read. Well, it's a Legends book now, though, even though I would say it's not. But, Lord have mercy. The one that I like.
I would
right,
love
right
to
there
read
it
these.
is. Right there it is.
Richard Knack or Christy Golden, I'm all in.
Let me go to Amazon. See
Or, what's his name? Timothy Zahn. He wrote a lot of the
He
Star
wrote the
Wars.
Thrawn
Zahn
books.
was
the,
good.
The new Thrawn books that are actually canon.
Yeah. Timothy Zahn's a beast as an author.
This is Ryder Wyndham.
He's actually not bad.
I'm not familiar with him, but I'll definitely check it
He
out.
does
if
a
you say
lot
it's
of
good.
Lego Bionicles, Star Wars, Indiana Jones, and Transformers.
Okay.
And
He's a very good
and he's,
Ryder
a, he's a
Wyndham.
huge Star Wars fan.
Okay.
So,
So I'll check him
Legends
out.
fan.
I'd still love the fact that like Dave Filoni got out nerded by the guy that voices Darth Maul.
Oh, Sam Witwer?
Yeah,
Brother.
they were sitting there.
Look,
and they're like,
look,
"Oh, well,
Matt.
how, yeah.
Joe, we can't compete with Sam Witwer
no."
as Star Wars fans.
He
Let me
out
just tell
nerded
you.
Filoni.
So Sam Witwer is the dude that does Darth Maul's voice currently in a lot of the animated stuff. Sam Witwer is also the dude that did the voice and the character model for Starkiller on the Force Unleashed games.
Yes.
He's also on The Mist. I don't know if you ever watched Stephen King's The Mist, the movie.
Good
Parts
movie.
of it.
Hated
He's
it
one
in-
of the military soldiers on there.
Okay.
He's got the brows. He's got the brow line. Anyways, this dude, I'm telling you, I don't know if he's autistic or what. I'm not saying it as an insult. I'm autistic. But I don't know if he's
Just Star Wars.
I don't know if he's a walking
Yeah.
encyclopedia or what. This dude knows his Star Wars.
So the story I'm
We
about
would
to tell
love
you-
him.
Yeah, the story I'm about to tell you is straight up been confirmed by Dave Filoni himself. They're doing a set for Clone Wars, and it's an episode where Padme meets Anakin's mom, and it's all like, "I'd like to introduce you to my wife," because it's, "Oh, well, how would Anakin's mom react the first time that she meets Padme?" And he breaks off and goes, "They've already met." In episode 1, she met her on Tatooine when Qui-Gon and
What was her
Obi-Wan-
name?
Shmi.
Good job,
Shmi.
Joe.
Yeah.
3PO. Or
I hope that
Yeah,
wasn't one of the
don't
trivia
repeat
questions. Speaking of trivia,
oh wait, we'll get to trivia. I just want
Okay.
to say a little cool factoid. I was not about to pay the $50 to meet him, so I stood probably from me to the pole. There, what's that? 12 feet.
yeah.
Ray Sparks.
Oh, Ray Park.
Ray Parks.
Yeah.
Darth Maul,
Yeah,
the
Darth
actor
Maul.
who
Darth Maul,
played.
yeah.
He also
Dude, I
played
love him.
Toad in the X-Men movies.
Yeah.
He's
Yeah.
a
He's a great like stuntman actor.
something degree black belt in kung fu. He's amazing. But,
He's awesome, dude.
He is awesome. But I stood from here to here.
I
but
still
because I
think-
wasn't willing to do
I-
this and pay $50.
No,
I still think if they do live action Darth Maul in anything nowadays, they should get Ray Park as the actor, but they should get Sam Witwer as the voice actor
Didn't
for
they
him,
get-
and just and what is it called?
didn't they get Ray Park to come
ADR.
back at the end of Solo? Whenever
Yes, he was. Yeah, he was
The
Darth
holo-
Maul at the
yeah.
end of Solo. Oh
Speaking
my
of
lord!
Solo, that is a poopy movie I started to watch, turned off, and flushed it.
Really,
Hated it.
I know a lot of old.
Oh,
I know.
Lord.
I know a lot of old school fans that really like Solo. Actually,
Hated it. And I love Han Solo's character. I love everything around Han Solo.
Yeah, we've talked about a little bit about
Chewbacca, Han Solo, the back and forth with Boba Fett, who's my favorite character of all the Star Wars. We just covered that,
Yeah.
but that movie, ugh.
isn't that where they set him up? Like they tell part of the story where he was a stormtrooper and stuff.
They failed. The
I'm
movie
not
was
saying
trash.
they did it well. I'm just saying,
Yeah.
like the best part of that movie.
So
was
well,
Michael
let's
B.
get
Jordan.
into trivia.
Trivia.
Sorry, I digress.
We
wanted
will
to-
just for those people that are like, man, I want you to keep going. They understand there are other people that don't want us to keep going.
Yeah, so we're trying to keep it balanced.
We will do other Star Wars episodes in the future, like we said
Mm-hmm.
earlier. Maybe May 4th every year, or maybe when there's big Star Wars stuff coming out.
Absolutely, because obviously we're all passionate about Star
Also,
Wars.
if you can't tell by our voices, we're a little drinky at this point.
Me?
So.
Drinky?
No.
Completely sober.
I'm
Trivia.
hoping
Oh,
that
so there instead of a trivia challenge,
We're not going to do a trivia challenge.
or instead of a trivia challenge loss like challenge,
If you miss a question,
we do half a shot of Jack Daniel's whiskey.
which means
It's my
Matt's
favorite whiskey.
hopefully not going to go sleepy. We'll see what happens.
I'll have to upload it myself. Everything.
Let me put my hat on backwards. So-
By the
This
way,
should be
what do you guys
interesting.
think about the logo for this episode?
yeah, did you
I
like
love
that?
it.
That was I
That's
thought it
sick
was
as
kind
hell.
of cool. It was
yeah,
fun.
I love it.
Took
I-
a masterful logo.
Hit us with
and
that trivia.
trivia.
C3P Joe, Joda,
All right.
Sleepy
Joe
3 Joe.
or whatever.
So most of these are going to be pretty easy,
Legend.
as bad as it sounds. What is
Wait, who are you starting with?
Hey, who's first?
Who's keeping score?
Wait, who
Celeste?
who started?
James?
She put it to
Yeah. So who?
James he was ready.
Who started? Last,
I think there was a camera right there.
We always go wisdom.
It's missing.
It was left-handed.
His left
It was
hand.
left-handed.
I mean, I could.
Don't do it. I did
Let's
it,
not
but
get canceled 3 episodes. in.
okay.
You always said wisdom before beauty.
Well, you know, Star Wars is a political. No, anyways.
Well, I just woke up.
All right,
right.
sobered up.
Who's
Who's first?
Hit your question.
We'll go Zach first.
Oh, we
Me
switched it
first.
up.
Oh,
Yeah.
thank God.
Zach, what is the real name of the child introduced? What is the real name of the child introduced in The Mandalorian season 1?
Grogu.
Okay.
Why is he shooting Nerf bullets at you? I'm just curious.
He said all of them are easy this time.
Okay.
He said all of them are fairly easy for
Fairly
Star, for
easy.
Star Wars.
For
people.
Star Wars.
For Star Wars nerds, like
These are probably easy for us. For 50% of the audience, they just said Baby Yoda.
Yeah,
It's not a baby Yoda. Oh, I will ask you a separate trivia question. There was a female.
Yaddle.
Damn it, you got me. Okay. Her name was
great.
Yaddle.
Yeah, no, great. That fight against Count Dooku
Hmm.
was phenomenal.
Interesting that you guys knew of Yaddle. I'll
Yeah.
be quiet.
I got
I'm
you,
so
baby
impressed.
boo.
I
I
love
got
y'all.
you, baby.
Okay.
I should have brought Jake on this episode. This dude is also walking. Like, I'm sure. I respect your knowledge in Star Wars. I'm almost positive he knows more than you about Star Wars.
All right,
I will fight
so
Jake.
I got
Okay,
you.
Jake, you heard him.
Speaking,
Jake.
all right, so speaking of Yaddle, do you know who voiced Yaddle in the?
Was that a question? Because I was like, that's way different than who was Baby Yoda.
No,
Okay,
no.
I was like, Lord of mercy.
This just
No,
it
I
was
don't.
just
I don't know who.
Bryce Dallas Howard.
Oh, I can see that.
Selena.
So
wait,
Bryce
no.
Dallas Howard is fantastic, and maybe my next wife that likes Star Wars instead of.
Oh, she's
If
coming
Luke
to
still,
kill.
Zach would have been dead twice.
I'm talking to the ghost of Zach.
All right, Matt. Who was Anakin Skywalker's Padawan?
Was it Ashoka?
It's Ahsoka. But
Ahsoka.
Close enough. You
That
haven't
was
watched
the
Clone
beard.
Wars, so it's Ahsoka Tano. Is her
I know
name.
she is. She's a Twilight female.
She's awesome,
That's
and
actually
Rosario
awesome.
Dawson plays her. Another woman that could also be my no.
She's that phone is throwable. That's the Samsung Throw Me. It's a neat
I would
phone.
take Katie Sackhoff over Rosario Dawson.
I would not, but that's,
But that's
to each his
personal.
own.
I would take my girlfriend over all of them.
That was. We're gonna delete that out.
Yeah, it's
We're gonna
only it's
edit
going to
that.
leave it at Katie Sackhoff.
And
Kim,
his
you heard it.
girlfriend over none of them.
You heard it.
We can edit that. Yeah,
Yeah,
that's
you heard it.
All right. What year did the first Star Wars movie release?
The first Star Wars, like Episode 4. Is this
Yeah.
for me?
Yeah.
This is for me. 1977.
Yeah.
What month?
Ooh. August.
I think it was. That's what I was.
I think
leaning
it was
toward.
August.
Was it August of
I
'77?
think it's July.
I knew it was sometime around that mid.
It
that
was
mid.
midsummer.
When did the first
Yeah,
Star
midsummer.
Wars movie release?
Let's see.
May of '77.
May.
That's right. It was 21 days after May the 4th.
May
I did
4th?
know that.
Okay.
Yep. My
Okay.
bad. 100% my
All
bad.
right, Matt, you.
All right, Matt.
Ma Chewbacca. You got it. Oh, you call me Matt. You.
Oh, son of a dongus. I've got to take a shot of the Jack.
Here he
All right,
Or
goes.
half a shot, or
So
what? A
while
sip.
you're,
A swig.
while
Get
you're
it.
doing swig, while James Earl Jones provided the voice,
driving.
what actor actually
Oh my God, it's-
physically played Darth Vader?
He's a Scottish guy.
No.
Oh my God. Why do you get Nerf bullets and I catch 9mm rounds?
That's a hard one. I don't know it.
I can't remember his name. It is he's a white guy, and there was some debauchery about the fact that a white guy, and then you had James Earl Jones, who's
Doing
an
the voice.
amazing voice.
God.
Tulsa Doom and the
R.I.P.
Conan movies.
R.I.P. He died in the
Yeah.
last year or so.
He
couple years.
James Earl Jones was the Beast, Mufasa, Vader, and
Coming
Tulsa.
to America, he was the king of Zamunda.
Well, that wasn't his greatest movie, but you know, we did have him as Tulsa Doom in the Conan movies.
Yes,
he was
he's
phenomenal.
good, dude. He's
He was
good.
also the old man
What a
in
voice,
Sandlot.
dude! What a voice! What a voice!
Yes.
Okay, anyways,
You failed me for the last
you don't know the
time.
answer.
I
is what
don't.
it said.
David Prowse.
David Prowse.
David Prowse played him?
David Prowse played him. He was the physical actor.
Are you sure?
Are you sure about that?
Let us double
Very
check
That's
that.
what came up whenever
David
I
Prowse.
I thought it was like a French name, to be honest.
Yeah, I don't think it was David Prowse who played
Darth
the
Vader
body of-
actor original. I put Darth Vader. David Prowse.
I did not know that David Prowse played him.
Wow, I didn't either. I know David. Like
You
I
know
know
why?
that name.
Because I was thinking of Peter Mayhew.
You were thinking of Chewbacca.
Yep. It was David Prowse, and I do know that. Dang it. Okay, so
Dang.
miss a point for Matt.
All right.
I didn't get it either.
Well,
though,
you didn't
so
get a
you
chance
don't
to
have to
steal.
take a shot. So.
Thank God.
All right. Zach?
So I just want to say my wife, who is usually an avid part in the background doing things, she is not well. So if you guys could keep her in your thoughts and prayers
Your
today.
thoughts and prayers.
Positivity. Kick
You
her all
and
the...
your rope.
Use the force and make her better.
What are you going to
But-
need a rope for?
And then they
But my
needed
wife
it.
is sickly, and she's. I told her I'll be honest with you guys. I was like, hey, do I need to pause and we just do this tomorrow? And she was like, no, the show must
Star
go on.
Wars, man.
Do your thing.
Got to
So,
do it on the day.
Mad respect and love to my wife who supports us doing this. She is not feeling well today. so.
Next question, Joe.
All right, Zach. Who owned the Millennium Falcon before Han Solo?
Lando Calrissian.
Love you. You know
I
that.
love you, man. You love me because I got it right.
Well, I knew. Who didn't know? What? How did he win it?
Oh, oof. Hold on. I know it. It was either because he did the Kessel Run, or it was a game of the Hollow stuff.
It was the game of
Yeah, it was
Hollow
Hollow
stuff.
Chess.
Yeah. Couldn't remember which one.
All right.
I still claim you.
I'm drinky, so
I still
if I
claim
wasn't drinky, maybe I could have got it immediately. But
Matt, what year was Episode 1 released?
I know it, bro.
Hey, who played Han Solo? Those are your questions. I get like, tell me the year.
I don't
okay,
know who
so
played Han Solo. Oh wait, yeah, I do. Harrison
yeah,
Ford. Yeah.
yeah, sure. So
I thought you
yes,
said Boba
do.
Fett for some reason.
You know that too.
I don't. Not.
Who
I know
played
current
young Han
Boba. I don't
Solo?
know. I know
Nobody
current.
who matters.
I know current
His
Boba
name
Fett.
was
I don't know
Yakov
old.
Smirnoff.
Actually, you're pretty
I
close.
don't know
It's like
old Boba
Aiden
Fett's actor.
Aldenreich or something.
Yeah, he was actually in a lot of westerns.
Yeah, I know, but I just don't know his name.
I'm forgetting his name right now because.
Either way, what's
Wait, who?
What
year?
was the episode 1 you said?
a few years after I was born, man?
What was the question that you asked?
Don't worry about
Doesn't
it, brother.
matter. It's like the 60s early when y'all hit me on the last episode.
Vastly younger.
Yeah. Middle finger's born for all of these fellas.
Vastly younger.
Oh, God.
Come on. A few years after I was born.
I know, it was like 2000 or 2001.
Nope.
I'm leaning toward 2001. No?
Nope.
When was it?
1999.
I was
90
supposed to answer and get it, dude.
Oh,
I knew.
I don't have to take another drink.
No, I knew it was
It doesn't
99.
matter because you won anyway.
I knew it was 98.
That's it?
You got to take
That's
a
all the
swig.
questions?
You got to at least
I mean,
one
I
swig.
could think of some more off the top of my
Yeah,
head.
do
What?
it.
No, are we tied though? No, I won. that
You're one up
You're
on me.
one up.
Yeah. What was the tiebreaker question though? Take a swig
Yeah,
though, because
yeah.
I knew that answer,
shit.
dude.
What famous words appear in every Star Wars opening crawl?
A long time ago. In
A galaxy far away. Yeah.
That was tiebreaker.
I just
mean,
said it last night to
I
her
mean,
because I was like, "You've got to understand the appeal of Star Wars."
Why did it taste like I drank a tree?
It's because that's what it is.
It was a tree.
Yeah, it's oak.
Yeah, it's just oak.
I mean,
Um,
if you want a harder question,
it's just
I've got
oak.
one.
It's just oak.
Go ahead.
Go ahead.
Okay.
Yeah. Get it.
And we'll take a swig. We'll take whoever doesn't answer.
Yeah,
We'll get an additional.
yeah.
What actor in season?
that's
What
What-
mic cut? What happened? I don't know.
No. What actor in season 3 of The Mandalorian
Oh my Jesus.
received his what they call redemption character after playing Jar Jar Binks?
Oh, it's.
Oh,
I know who he is. He's a phenomenal actor.
He's the black dude. I don't mean
Yep.
to say that as an identifier, but that's
It is an identifier.
Yeah,
He's a
he's-
phenomenal body actor. He was great.
and
He
he
happened
did
to be
Jar Jar
African
Binks.
American.
I don't know his name.
Ahmad Best.
Ahmad Best.
He played.
I'll take a swig if you take a swig.
I
played
already
the
took a
Jedi.
swig.
Well, we'll both take a swig
Well,
because we've
swiggy
both
swigs.
taken a swig. So.
Yeah. And now we're even up.
He played the Jedi in the Order 66.
So, did we talk about least favorite? No, we did talk about
We
least
did.
favorite.
We talked
Woo!
about
The wife's driving me home tonight, guys. Don't worry about it. I hope.
if there's a delay on his getting out, it's because Zach.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, do you think Star Wars has gotten worse since Disney took it over?
Are
do
we
you
really
think it-
asking him this
We
question?
kind of hit on that earlier.
Well, yeah, a little bit. But do you think it's because of Disney in particular? Do you think it's because of?
I do. Because, like, if I were to, like, come to you, and I kind of know where you come from, and I know who you
Rosebud,
are.
Arkansas.
Oh, no, Rosebud. But
Rosebud.
I know kind of where you come from, and I know
Yeah.
what to expect from you, right?
What is his name? Yeah, I know.
If I came to you and said, hey, will you write me a story about this? Like, if I were to type into Chat GPT,
There you go.
You like the typey sounds?
Yeah, I do. I like that. Do you guys hear the typey keyboard
typey.
sounds?
But
Dolly Parton 9 to 5.
ASMR, you can go to sleep. Anyway, I said ASC.
It's a long episode.
Yeah,
It's
it's a
ASMR.
great episode though.
I love it.
I love this too. If you don't, well, thanks for listening.
I will say I didn't get any complaints about the length of the last
I
episode.
got zero complaints either.
So if you guys like the 2 hour mark, 2 hours is
Yeah.
fine, around that area.
I do have chickens and ducks as the sun goes down. I have to be mindful of. I have
Yes.
to take because my wifey is sick.
What were you saying?
Oh, what was this? Oh no! If I were to come to
Disney
you,
and Star Wars.
yeah, if I
Yeah,
came to
thank you,
Zach and
Joe.
I said, hey.
Thank God he can't drink today.
Yeah, Zach and me are drinky. Joe is no drinky. So if I were to go to Zach, though, I know Zach and I know his character. I know who he is.
Who's
I love the man. It's you.
That's not my
So
name.
Zenith the Dirk.
Dark Sky. What
Dark
was it?
Skywalker.
Oh my
damn
God!
it.
There it is.
All right. So I got a shot because I'm a dummy.
I feel like I'm on an episode of Drunk History.
to be
over
faux,
here.
to be honest, we probably both owe a couple because I think we called Joe several different names instead of C3PO.
Y'all called me just about anything but Joe C3PO.
Yeah, so
Shut up, you son of
son of a gun.
a gun.
Our
But we're
C3PO.
already drinking because Joe can't drink.
Yeah.
We're drinking
Sanchez.
for Joe tonight. Sanchez, Ian, Ul.
Ian, Ul.
That's down to the origin of sin, by the
The
way.
Gaelic people are like, man,
Yeah.
they're smart.
These guys
They're
keep
into
eating
it.
apples.
All right, we're going off track.
So yeah, so
squirrel.
if I went to you and I said, "Hey, Zach, write me a book,"
I'll write you a book.
and I would expect, because I chose you and I know what you're about,
I'm the chosen.
you're the chosen one. You're Poe or Ray or whatever her
I'm
name
Luke.
is.
I'm Anakin.
No.
Well, I'm
Oh,
Anakin.
and remind me to get back on
I'm
the balance of the
Qui-Gon.
Force.
I'm Qui-Gon's Anakin.
Yeah. So if I was to say, "Hey, write me a book," and you wrote me a book, I would know what to expect.
Would you?
But Disney was like, "Yeah, let's just go over here and let's throw this slosh."
Because of Bob Iger and Kathleen Kennedy.
I don't give a crap. They're all going to hell in my book because
That man said, "You all going down."
well,
That was dark.
well, you took all of my dreams as a child
Mhm.
and as a young adult reading the books and growing up as an adult reading the books and loving these things. You killed it.
Go on.
You
Go on
absolutely
that.
killed it.
Go on that. Keep
So
going.
my thing is, why do you not focus and find a writer like, let's say it was you?
Yeah.
You're a writer who's a fan of the
Yes.
canon, a
lover-
fan who
yeah,
loves
a
these
lover
things.
of Star Wars.
A lover of Star Wars, loves all things, loves where the story's going. Where could it go? You dream of the possibilities. Bring it to you
Mhm.
and say, Zach, write me the next episode.
Mhm.
They
They
did,
didn't.
But they did, but they did it late. They found John.
You better watch your little whore mouth over there.
No, no. Here, hold on. If I have to, let me
I'm getting fighty. I'm getting
No,
fighty.
Okay, no. They
Okay.
did. The problem is the next movie coming out is Grogu and the Mandalorian, which is Dave Filoni and John Favreau, who are
Which
Star
translates to
Wars
all
fans.
kinds of things.
No.
No,
The
these
Mandalorian. Look at me. Have you watched The Mandalorian?
Yes.
Any of it? Season 1?
Okay, and we talk about
Hold on.
plot
Oh,
holes.
shh. Did you watch Season 1?
Yes,
You
Okay.
liked it?
I did, except for
Okay.
one thing.
But anything disregarding Boba Fett.
It wasn't Boba Fett.
Oh, okay.
It was hey, these are a bunch of little hippie farmers. Let's turn them into people who can take you down to ATST. Come on,
Fair.
man.
Fair
Okay,
enough.
That's fair.
Come
Fair.
on.
Fair enough, but that's not like a huge plot hole.
No,
That's
That was
just,
huge to me.
To me, that's just more like one of those things. It's like,
Well, the good guys win. No, come on.
No, but that's
they had plot armor.
they
had plot
armor,
armor.
but that's
Plot armor, yeah.
that's kind of one of the things that I enjoy about this is I've always. No, hold on. Let me
C3PO
speak
Joe.
here. So
You can speak. I'm
What?
whispering under the Underdark.
I've always been the person
Underdog.
that I've always related more to the Code of Honor of the Mandalorians. I've always wanted to know more about their history, more about their planet, things along that line.
So do you like Jedis?
Do I like Jedis? No, I think they're extremists.
Do you know that
Hey, I agree with that.
So we'll talk about this. The Mandalorians, wonderful people. They had their own code of chivalry, if you will. Male, female didn't matter. You had a code of chivalry.
The Star Wars universe is driven by extremists
Yeah.
on all
Jedi
sides.
and
On
Jedi.
all sides. Extremists on Sith, extremists on Jedi, extremists on
Joe?
extremists on everything
good.
else.
No, you want another eruption, Joe.
No.
Joe's
Brother,
gonna,
you
for the podcast.
punished.
Joe, you got punished.
Punished!
Get it, Joe.
Punish him with
What am
the
I
eruption!
for?
Because you were speaking highly of the Jedi.
Keep
over
these
the
wings in your
Mandalorian.
freezer.
No, I was,
And then
no, I
we'll
was
use
speaking,
them as,
hold on.
as the punishment.
Torture.
I was speaking highly
6
of
months from now
some
in the
Jedi.
freezer, we'll find
I was speaking highly of some Jedi. I was speaking highly of Qui-Gon, Obi-Wan, the ones that understood that there are flaws to the Jedi Order. That
Qui-Gon
understood-
did not.
Qui-Gon did.
Qui-Gon did.
That's why
Qui-Gon
he-
did not.
Qui-Gon
Qui-Gon
did. That's why
did.
he went against the Council's wishes and trained Anakin anyway.
That's,
agree.
But, whoa. I agree to an extent, but I will not agree with the fact that he disagreed with the Jedi.
I don't think he disagreed with the Jedi. He disagreed.
Joe gonna hit the eruption. How much ranch do you put on
Brother,
that
you got
gallon?
to. No, you
I-
have to.
Look,
You
It
have-
hurts.
When
Eat
this
another
is all
one and
said
tell
and
me.
done, I want this to give birth to a ranch child.
You're gonna birth a flare.
I'd prefer
fireball.
ranch out my butthole than eruption wings out my butthole.
James, you get another fireball?
Hey, I recommend
Celeste?
Rockhouse for eruption wings every day of the week.
I
However,
told you.
However, get
Oh.
a small order.
So I will tell you. So your hottest, Rockhouse, if you're listening, your hottest, right there next to eruption, it smells like habanero.
And it was not.
And we ate that thing like it was nothing.
And I
It
loved
was
it.
nothing,
I absolutely
dude.
love that one. This
It
one
was
is
like
torture.
it was like playing Knack. It was like anyone who plays Knack on PS4. Anyone who plays
Joe
Knack.
is literally drinking ranch.
If you go play Knack on PS4,
Yeah.
go play it right now.
Yep.
You will understand that there's a difficulty curve that after like level 5 or 6 just spikes for no reason. And that was its
That is
biggest
eruption.
criticism. And that's eruption.
Huh?
Even with the ranch. Oh my God, why? Oh,
The
why?
ranch is just, it's like a disguise. I'm the devil.
I think
Yeah.
It's
I
finally
think
out of my mouth.
I think this was a great episode.
I do think it was a great episode.
I'm a little drinky and I'm sure they can hear that by now.
Am I?
Yeah.
So many regrets.
Let me tell you.
It's because I've lost a couple of shots to
So
the
many regrets right now.
look at his
Alright.
eyeballs. He's crying.
Joe looks.
So-
the face he's making reminds me of a poorly made Oblivion character off of the
Pornographic
remaster.
material. One
Yes.
or the other.
Shout out to Elder Scrolls Oblivion. We're not sponsored. Hey, but thank you guys though for sure for all the sponsorship
Yes.
opportunities that have been offered to us.
We love it.
Let us close up the thing now.
Yeah.
Sponsorship. Again, shout out to the sponsor of this
Yeah,
episode.
yeah. I just want to say thanks
Just
again
because this
to.
was a long episode, give them another one.
It was long, but I'll give a shout out to U.S. Pawn and Loan doing the thing, showing up. We've
Hell.
got the hats. We're going to put them by the Jango Fett helmet for this episode. We'll take
That's
a picture. We'll post you guys. You guys have been beast.
501-843-3632.
And I believe they will ship items if you find something on the website that you like. And they also do the USPL autos. They have the whole pre-owned car dealership. And they are licensed dealers for World Lawn and Bobcat lawnmowers. So make sure you check them out. They're definitely cool stuff.
God help this episode for getting out on time.
Whew, we burned our souls for you. And
Might-
Rockhouse,
it
thank
might
you.
be worth doing episodes a week ahead.
Yeah.
My mouth feels like the surface of Mustafar right now.
Mustafar, he brought up a Star Wars reference. So
Anakin's done.
I saw Anakin burning on his tongue right now. But yeah, thank you, Rockhouse in Searcy, Arkansas.
I hate you.
You're my brother. But we thank you, Rockhouse, for the eruption. I think you guys hit us with a little extra on the hot when I told you, hey, this is Matt with beer and wings. You guys hit us with all.
Bridget went back there. Bridget
said, hey,
she
guys.
went back to, it's beer and wings. They said our wings weren't hot.
Fire boys, burn their souls.
Do it to them.
But thank you to Bridget. I know you told me you and your boyfriend listened to this, and you mentioned your son tonight. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this episode. It was Star Warsy. We kind of bounced all over the place, but we definitely.
I would say it's more Lord of the Ringsy than Star Wars. Now I'm kidding.
No, I
There's
was like,
only one
shut
return,
up.
and it's not of the ring; it's of the Jedi.
I will tie my wife down tonight and
He's-
tape her eyelids shut to watch Star Wars and Lord of the Rings.
You mean eyelids open?
Did I say shut?
You
said
said shut.
shut.
I was like, I don't know what kind of freaky stuff you're into,
It's
but
a reverse clockwork.
That's for a different
orange.
episode.
yeah, drink the milk. Anyway, so guys, until the next time, we love you and good luck and have all the fun. Make sure you check out Zenith Dark Sky on Twitch, YouTube,
Everywhere.
everywhere.
I'm Zenith Dark Sky on even Instagram, dude.
And I know I go as Matrix Gaming. I'm Matrix on everything.
MATTRIXXZ. Because he says Matrix like it's MATTRX. But it's not. Don't let him
There's
deceive you.
extra letters.
You don't be deceived by him, man. It's MATTRIXXZ.
Yep, because I was an old school hacker.
Hooked
But
on phonics worked for me.
not for Joe, but for me. But anyway, love you guys.
Shout out to
Have fun.
C3P Joe.
3P.
Joe.
What?
Sleepy Joe.
I just had extra letters.
And may the force be with you.
Bye.
Hello.
May the 4th.